What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a happy
Hump Day
edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. You got to love the Lavonte David jersey in the background, right? Thanks to DJ UPS there at the Sports Expo. But you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will have Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast. We will have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, on with us talking about what else? Lavonte David being ranked, finally getting the respect that he so deserves from the National Football League and the 100 NFL list right there, number 96. Always a good thing. We'll also hear what Rondé Barber has to say about Baker Mayfield. What did Hall of Fame coach Bill Parcells say about Todd Bowles and some other Bucs items? The Bucs putting out there a tease on a uniform release, if you will, a road throwback, all white and creamsicle edition with the head ball coach Steve Spurrier. How about that? And that is coming on July 15th. You don't know which game it's going to be. Will it be on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks on October 5th? With both of those teams celebrating their 50th seasons, we will definitely talk about that. We'll have Leo Haggerty on, a big-time trade in the National Football League between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. Who won on that? Mika Fitzpatrick going from the Steelers to the Dolphins, back to the Dolphins, by the way. What do you say there, Louie? I haven't introed you yet there, Louie. What are you doing?
Sorry, I forgot to mute the mic. Sorry. Don't fire me.
Come on, producer. Come on now. Be better than that.
Womp, womp. Go ahead,
Already, I'm in a better mood. Already from Monday, and I do apologize for that. But sometimes I get a little bit of passionate. I get a little passion there, little excitement, and sometimes just a little nonsense from the work. Didn't mean to carry it over to the webheads. I do apologize for that. But hopefully you enjoyed the show on Monday. Hopefully you enjoyed the show there with Louie from the Frozen Pirate podcast going last night instead of Thursday. But again, we will have Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, talking around the NFL, that Steeler trade, Jalen Ramsey, Mika Fitzpatrick, Jonnu Smith going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're reunited with the offensive coordinator there, Arthur Smith. So we'll see who worked out. We'll get his reaction on the Jason Light and Todd Bowles extensions. We'll get your reactions as always, because I want to hear from you, Bucs fans. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Also, Turnbuckle Talk, Night of Champions. Was that a hell of a match or what between John Cena and, of course, CM Punk? I actually thought that match and that pay-per-view was probably better than the second night of WrestleMania. I just keep on going back to it. I just have an axe to grind with WWE. We'll talk about that, maybe some AEW action. And again, we'll read your comments and questions as always. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Of course, we're on Twitter there. Like and follow. Not on Instagram. I don't know what the heck is going on. StreamYard and Instagram, but that's not what I pay for.
F you, yeah. F you, F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.
Let's go out to our sponsors here. Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road. Whether you need a haircut, a beard trim, you need to look right. I look right now. I look real good. Get out to them. Tell them the Rolex reporter, Peter Blake, sent you go see my favorite barber, Ricky there. Remember, you don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop. And once again, tell them that Peter Blake, the Rolex reporter, sent you. And then on Saturday at noon, we will be live there from Tent World. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. On Saturday, I don't know what that is right there. Let me get rid of that, producer. There we go. As you're coming in right now, why are you?
I try to give you a banner here that I created, and
you got to give me where's the banner at? Right there. There it is. See, we're trying to do this production meeting on the run here. The Sports Web will be live from there, Pinellas Park, 6790 U.S. Highway 19 North in Pinellas Park. So get out there, be a part of the evolution of sports talk television. I heard it's supposed to rain all weekend. So what do you want to do? You want to stay in the house? You want to do housework? You want to sleep? Or you want to be a part of the evolution of sports talk television as I get a window tent for my Tesla, the real sexy red herself. That's right. That's the name. Don't make fun of me. You know what I'm talking about. It'll be tented up. They do great work. They've taken care of me before, whether it's speakers, lights, window tint. They do a hell of a job, and we're looking forward to being out there on Saturday at noon live from Tent World in Pinellas Park. So without further ado, seeing as he wants to keep on coming in and out here, we'll go ahead and get his intro on. Here we go.
What do you hear? What do you say?
Louie from the Frozen Pirate podcast. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. Now you can come on right there.
What's up with the camera?
I don't know what's going on with the camera. You got to wipe it off or something? What's going on?
I don't know, man. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties. Tuesdays, I don't like that. Tuesdays are not too friendly for me, so I'm never gonna do that again.
All right. Friendly reminder. I think it looks better. There you go. Okay. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, you got to let it recalibrate itself a little bit. I don't know, Peter. I'm having a rough week so far. You know, it's crazy.
What's
always
crazy?
Happens, man. I noticed it when it's time for a vacation week. Everything just goes haywire. Like yesterday, I did the show last minute. I'm like, I got to do the show I got to do the show today because Thursday I'm going to take my son to go watch the new Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah,
he's dying to see that. We're getting out early tomorrow, supposedly. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have time to do a show, so I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it today. And then I started doing it, and the computer was taking forever to load up. Just not working properly. I probably reset the computer about 3 times, and then it finally started working 5 minutes before I have to go on live.
Oh yeah,
that's
I know
when it wants to start working.
I know how you feel. I definitely know how you feel about this because I've had the trouble, and I don't know if I told you the story. I had to invest like $2,000 in this laptop because my genius, my ass, decided to go out on the field and cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneer win over the Carolina Panthers.
I remember you telling me that. Hold on, we're gonna fix this.
All right. Well, we got green screen right now, so we'll get you out of here on that really quick. We'll go back out to the full screen there. But as I was saying, I went out there. Of course, you know the story. Decided to try to do it in the rain. The media icon was running towards me, saying, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" And I continued to do the show. And then, of course, that cost me, again, $2,000 for a new laptop. So that's never a good thing. So, kids, there are limits to it, to this show. I always say there's no limits, but there are limits. The limit is rain and, of course, Wi-Fi. But we definitely, and I think we got Louie back on here, but let's go in and read the comments really quick. Once he gets set up, then he'll come on. I trust him here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Mr. Christopher O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Tim there in Bradenton. Good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
Let's go out to Sitten. Says, go Bucs. And Rays, and the Rays won today, by the way, 6-5. So the 3-game losing streak is all over with. Was a good thing right there as they lose the series to the Oakland A's. And you, again, try to figure this team out. They have the momentum. They are 9 games over 500 at this point, but you lose 2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles, who are in last place. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Oakland A's, Sacramento, Las Vegas, whatever the hell they're calling them.
Look at that.
Beautiful. It looks good, man.
Look at that.
Look at that.
We're back in business.
And he says, go Bucs. So go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy.
Go Bucs.
Wait up.
Go Bucs.
It's exciting.
Go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucs. There we go right there. So thank you very much, Sitten, for tuning in. As always, happy upcoming 4th of July Buccaneers. Absolutely. Hello, Peter and Louie. Yes, we'll fire the cannons, as the great Gene Deckerhoff would say right there. Thank you, Lamar, for tuning in. Dope, New Jersey. Peter, thank you very much. Can we go, producer, can we go and take a look at that again? The jersey here. Look at that. And it's signed. Let me take your look at that. It's take that. Look at that. Look at that signature right there. Look at
Who's that?
Lavonte David.
I don't even know who that guy is.
David's signature. Yeah. Future Hall of Famer. All right, come back to the future.
Is he a future Hall of Famer? We'll see.
Absolutely. According to him, he is. On this show, he was.
So.
And I got him to say, bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense, even with the crappy internet. That's thank you very much for Spectrum again.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Changing over to T-Mobile here pretty soon. Screw you guys. Christopher Coe says, yo to you.
Oh, yeah.
That is right there. Let's go out to Sandra Nagel. She sent me a picture today, man. I love my mom. She's looking way too young for her age. I'm just saying. She really is. My mom is looking young. I love you, Mom. Future agent of the show. You look beautiful. You're always great here on the show. You're always welcome on the show. I know I had to embarrass you a little bit there. Watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web with Harry the Greek and Louie. I don't know where the Greek's at, but we always get the Greek on here when he wants to come on.
Pull up, Greek. Pull up, man.
Pull up. We got Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Appreciate you, Mom. Love you.
Yeah.
Let's go out to the Greek there. What's up, gentlemen? You too, Peter. Thank you very much, Greek. Make America Greek again. That was the popular thing by the tribal troll, Roger Shue.
Acknowledge me.
Oh, by the way, he's not been tuning in. I don't know what the heck is going on. He's supposed to be the moderator there on YouTube. You are slacking, my friend. You are sleeping on the job.
A bum.
Yes, a bum. Absolutely. Let's go out to Nicholas Kosamides. Hearing trade talks about the Bucs. I am not hearing that. Although there have been some scuttlebutt, if you will, Leo Word, and again we'll have him on at 9 o'clock. Yeah,
you know who else uses that word?
Yeah, who's
Michael Scott from The Office.
Well, there you go.
That's
about
one of the greatest shows ever.
TJ Watt. I really never got into it. I never really watched.
Are you serious?
I don't know why.
I'm about to get off this show right now.
Bro, I never seen it.
Are you serious? You never seen The Office?
I never seen The Office. Yes, it's up there with The Walking Dead. I never watched The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead's not that good.
Well, everybody tells me The Walking Dead is great as we talk movies and shows here on the Sports Web, as we've done here recently, because it is
The Office is a classic, Peter. You have to watch The Office.
How many seasons do I have to watch of it?
So I'm going to tell you this. The first season starts off a little bit slow. I'm not going to lie. But after you get past maybe 6 episodes.
Is it going to put me to sleep?
No. You just get to know the characters. But here's the thing. A show like that and the things that they talk about and the things that they do, especially the boss, Michael Scott, it would probably be frowned upon in today's day and age. That show would never work in this day and age. It's a little offensive. But if you haven't watched The Office, no offense, but you're a loser. That's where I'm at. That is the greatest show invented. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
You ever hear the thing? That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what that is. Steve Carell.
That's from The Office. Steve Carell, The Office.
Steve Carell.
He killed that role. That's I'm telling you, that's an all-time. Peter, I don't even need to. I've watched The Office so many times, all the seasons.
Yeah.
I don't even need to watch the show. I can just put it in my headphones and I know exactly what the scene looked like.
All right. So I got to watch that show. I got to watch eventually The Walking Dead when I have.
I'm going to message you through the private chat what episode you should watch because I don't want to be offensive, but it's the name of the episode. So I don't want to offend anybody. So I will send it to you in the private chat.
Okay. Send it to me in the private chat. I'll try to watch it from season 1. I'll try to watch something.
You have Peacock?
I do have Peacock. I have all the channels.
It's on Peacock.
You ever watch Dark Side of the Ring?
Peter?
What's that?
What is it?
Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah. I've watched a few, not all.
Shame on you, man. What are you doing? Watch them all. You're a wrestling fan. You say you're a wrestling fan. By the way, we got Turnbuckle Talk coming up tonight, as we will try to keep this show under 2 hours or less.
Not going to happen.
You always say that. You curse it.
Because it's the truth. It's not going to happen.
Well, because everybody likes to call the show, and I appreciate that. I really do. Even if I do
check your private. Check your private.
I'm looking at it right now. What do we got? Oh, geez.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that under wraps there. All right, so let's get into it here. Lavonte David, number 96, finally is getting some respect here. I don't think he gets enough respect around the league at all. Your initial thoughts, because you kind of said to me, maybe that could have been a little bit higher at this point, but I will say this, at least he's ranked at this point, because it seems like we're always talking about other linebackers, and you look at the numbers compared to the linebackers in this generation, in this era, and he's absolutely comparable, maybe even better if you look at, the fumble recoveries, fumbles caused. Of course, he the most in the Bucs said this in their tweet, the most underrated linebacker in the NFL, easily the most underrated linebacker, coming off a season in 2024, started all 17 games, 122 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 1 interception, 6 pass deflections, 13 pressures, and 6 quarterback hits. It also marks the 7th time he's earned this impressive achievement, with his lowest placement being in 2014 when he earned the number 35 spot. See, I wasn't aware. I thought this was, but it's impressive seeing at his age at this point. But it still seems like even if he's ranked on this list, he's not ranked high enough. And you even said that to me off air. So give me your take on this. Is he ranked still too low, or is this where he should be ranked? Again, welcome to the evolution.
All right. So in my initial thoughts of Lavonte, this is what I think. A part of me wants to say he's right where he needs to be, but in all reality, I think he should probably be maybe in the 70s range because, in 2012 he was ranked 37th on this list, 2013, and that's pretty impressive for his rookie year, I believe. Number 37, 2013, 28th, 2014, 26th, 2015, 2016, he's within the 20 range. He stood within the 20 range up until 2019. And then he was he was ranked 10th best player in 2020, 2021, took a little bit of a step back, number 43, and now he finds himself in the 90s. I think, in my opinion, I think he should have been within the 70 range, Peter, just because his age and what he produces on the field. If they lost him on defense last year, I would say it was over. Like they weren't stopping anybody. But again, he's kind of right where he needs to be in, the mainstream media. I don't know who makes this list. Is it the players around the NFL, or it is, right?
Yeah, well, it's that was the players around the league. Absolutely.
Okay. So in my opinion, I think he belongs in the 70s, in the 70 range. Right. I don't know. 96. I guess it's all right. He deserves better than that. But again, stuff like that doesn't matter, in my opinion. We'll see what he does this year. I mean, I think he's going to break Brooks's tackling record.
Well, I think, and he talked about that. It was one of the things he talked about, and he said that he would probably cry. He would be emotional about it. I mean, he's been a part of this team, and we also talked about the fact of how this organization was an afterthought, and he was here during that, and now it's a destination. Now, this is what running back B. John Robinson had to say about David. He says, Lavonte David, I respect the mess out of him. He said the dude is athletic.
He didn't say that.
Yes, he did. He said he respect the mess out of him. This is
the mess?
The mess out of him, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
He said mess. Wow, good for him.
He didn't say that, which you would say.
Well, that's what I was saying. Okay.
Well, he said the mess out of him. He also said that they pointed out he still has plenty of gas in the tank, which we talked about. He does. He's playing sideline to sideline with 122 tackles. The dude is athletic. He has not lost his athleticism. On some routes, he's still running with me, and I'm like, bro, how are you here? I was like 5 yards past you, and you just casually come up. I love it.
It's Lavonte, man. He's been doing this for a long time, and he doesn't really show. I mean, do you think, Peter, he took a little bit of a step back last year, or do you think he's right where he's supposed to be?
No, I think he's playing in the top level, and I'm not just saying that. I didn't see. I saw more of the other guys, if you will, and it's tough. I think you have to look at the tape, but from what I saw, he didn't lose a step. He's still playing. Yeah. To me, he's 25, 26 years old.
He's never had a major injury, neither. He's taken very good care of his body.
Yeah, but just don't speak that into existence. Here you go. With
speaking it into existence would be like, hey, I'm a little concerned. Yeah. I don't think like that. I'm just stating a fact, Peter, that this guy never got hurt. You know, he's been consistent. He's another Iron Man for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like Rondé Barber was. I don't think anybody's going to beat Rondé Barber's record. But I mean, again, Lavonte is never going to get the credit he deserves. Although I'm starting to see a little bit more people talking about him, especially out here in Mass. Some people are really have, they understand now Lavonte. They have a better respect for Mike. I guess that's the Tom Brady effect, if you will. And it just, it sucks. It doesn't help, Peter. And I'll say this, it doesn't help Lavonte's Hall of Fame thing when you constantly lose on primetime games because the nation's watching, and then they may say, hey, 5-4 made a good play, but they're not going to remember that because the Bucs lost over some stupid stuff. You know? And that's what they want to focus on. It seems like the Buccaneers always lose on primetime over something stupid like the Colts. Remember that situation? And then against the Cowboys, numerous of times, against the Rams. It's always something. So that's probably why people don't really recognize Lavonte like that. If they would have racked up some rims. I'm thinking about some rims. I was looking at rims for the Escalade. That's all. Got rims on the brain.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but if he racked up some wins, I think people would be praising Lavonte and saying this guy is a first ballot. He's a first ballot in my opinion.
Well, listen, I definitely think he's first ballot, and I think you're exactly right. More wins, more Super Bowl rings. I think more people would talk about him, but
he'll get one this year.
They don't. I definitely think it's possible. Don't you?
I don't know, man. I have a good feeling, man. I think
I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just me. There's something different about this season, and it's something that reminds me of 2020. There's a feeling. Yeah. I can't put my finger on it. I can't. It just seems different to me.
Yeah, it seems. I've been saying that.
I'm being optimistic about this, but there seems to be something different about this team, about the way they're going about their business, about what they're saying, how they're carrying themselves, what they brought in. There's
good
some
depth. This is the best draft class that I think we've had in quite some time. Not just who we drafted, but like unrestricted draft, unrestricted rookie free agents that we signed is phenomenal. So there's something special about this team. But I have homework for everybody out there. I want Buc fans to start doing their own homework. I want Buc fans to really watch preseason because, like I said, throughout the season, I'm going to be a lot more active. It's not going to be just one show a week. I'm going to try and do a show almost every day. You'll see me here on the Sports Web. You'll see me constantly putting out content with the Frozen Pirate podcast, maybe little 15-minute episodes of breaking down film with you guys so you guys can better understand what leads to wins and losses in the game. And I want you guys out there to watch the preseason. If you want to know the depth of this team, you got to watch the preseason because last year I called it. I said, the defense looks a little shaky, baby. And sure as hell, it was shaky. The lack of depth on that defense.
Shaky. Real shaky.
But, Lavonte is definitely a Hall of Famer in my eyes, Peter. And 96 is okay for him, I guess. But, I mean, who cares about that stuff? All I care about is a Super Bowl and him getting into the Hall of Fame. But shall we move on from another one future Hall of Famer to what one current Hall of Famer had to say about somebody on this team?
Well, let's open up the phone lines on that. What do you think about Lavonte David in this ranking at number 96? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll go back out to the comments, and then we'll get on to what a Hall of Famer had to say about the quarterback of this team and Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, you're catching some heat, buddy.
What am I catching here? Peter, you have to watch The Office. The season will start slow, but then it'll get better. Walking Dead is dope. Now they have 5 sister TV series to that show. I just don't have enough time. Like, I'm trying to watch wrestling. I'm trying to produce shows. I'm driving Uber. I drove Uber all weekend. Like, it was Friday, came home.
Gotta make that money, baby.
Yeah, went to sleep. Saturday morning, got up, was proud of myself because I like to sleep in on Saturdays, and like woke up about 8:00, got my coffee, got something to eat. It probably wasn't healthy, but that's okay. That's what you do for breakfast, especially when you sleep. 6
you know what? I can't even knock you for that. Normally, I'll get on top of you for that. Like, hey, Peter, don't eat that. Don't do that.
Well, listen,
I had an everything bagel today with vegetable cream cheese, a large shaken espresso from Dunkin'. You can thank the wife from that because that's my favorite drink. I swear, like the girlier the drink, the better it is. It's a shaken espresso, and then I had a chocolate sprinkled donut. Start my morning, and
nothing wrong with that. I would have a Boston cream donut.
Apple spice. That's my favorite.
Really? You're in Boston spice. And you don't like Boston cream.
Well, when you have Boston creams for 37 years, Peter, you kind of get sick of it.
I could never get sick of Boston cream donut.
You guys don't have Boston creams out there?
I mean, we don't have enough of them, and they got the cream in the center there.
You walked right into it, buddy.
and the chocolate on top. You're a jerk. You're really
that's a suck right there,
idiot.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah, exactly. All right, good stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I love the Boston. What is it? It's not Boston cream. Yeah, it's Boston cream.
I don't know. It's a cream filling inside.
It just doesn't seem right when it's coming out. It doesn't seem like I'm saying it right.
Watch your words.
Oh, shut up. Be quiet. All right. Happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Don't be JP.
I said that.
Yeah, that's very good.
Ooh, yeah.
Very good. Yes.
I said it on yesterday's show. I'm like, guys, don't blow your freaking fingers off.
I want to say this too. I like the chocolate frappe or the McCafe there from McDonald's. The
I heard
mocha.
McDonald's has really good coffee.
I like it better than Dunkin' Donuts.
Really?
I'm sorry. I think Dunkin' Donuts is overrated when it
All
comes
right,
to
so tomorrow I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I've never had a McDonald's coffee.
Yeah.
What should I get?
We got to get the McCafe, the frozen one. I think it's a frappe, mocha frappe. Get the mocha
I can't
frappe.
do that first thing in the morning.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Not at 5 a.m.
Bro, do it. Mocha frappe will wake you up. You got some sugar.
I don't do sugar. I do the stevia.
Get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with hash brown.
Oh, man, that's a heart attack, dude. I can't do that.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. You'll be all right with the cholesterol, which, by the way, you sound like my mom at this point.
Can't do that.
What mom said.
Hey.
Mom said too much.
You don't say that.
Right. You sound like you.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
Got
Oh,
you.
yeah. Here we go.
I got you. Let's see. Under 2 hours or less. Ha, 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 ha. Not going to happen. Of course, Lamar.
Told you.
I agree with Louie's thoughts of Lavonte in the 70s. So is he ranked too low? What do you think about the ranking, Bucs fan? 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts, to me, coffee is overrated. The donuts are good.
You never had a shaken espresso?
Maybe I need to try it. It's just
I
tried to find the equivalent to what McDonald's serves, and they don't have it. And the
you guys have honeydew donuts down there?
I think we got
no.
We got what's it called? Not Dunkin'. What's the other ones?
Tim Hortons, Starbucks.
No, not Starbucks. We got Starbucks down here. What's the donut place called?
I don't know, man. We got like
famous donut place with the light on. Krispy Kreme.
We don't have those out here.
We have those out here. Those are great.
We don't have that. We don't have Waffle House. We don't have none of that.
Amazing. Lots of cholesterol right now that we're talking about. That's what you do. And by the way, we had a McDonald's right down the street. They have like biscuits and gravy, sausage biscuits and gravy. Yeah, it's
see. The only thing I get from McDonald's is an Oreo McFlurry with extra Oreos. It's got to have extra Oreos. I swear to God, Peter. If it doesn't have extra Oreos, I'll go back around and I'll say, hey, listen, I paid for extra Oreos. Load that up. One time, the lady got so mad.
That's diabetes right there. What are you talking about? That's
right, but once in a blue moon is okay.
So then do the mocha frappe in the morning. Trust me on this.
I don't do frozen drinks like that. Is it a coffee or is it frozen?
It's a coffee. It's a coffee frozen mocha drink with Hershey.
I can do that.
So good.
All right, I'll do that if you go out and try. All right, this is my coffee: medium ice, shaken espresso. With
Put it in the private chat.
6 stevia and almond milk. That's a good coffee right there, shaken espresso.
All right.
I can't do milk or cream because that.
When I'm not doing that, I do the what's it called, the Rockstar coffee drink, which is probably really bad for me, but
that's a heart attack. That's a heart attack.
That's great enough to suck right there.
I gotta have my coffee in the morning. What can I do here?
That's a heart attack.
Well, I only have the one can. And then I'll have the Celsius maybe during the day.
Jesus Christ, dude. Wow.
What?
That's a lot.
The Celsius is good.
Oof.
No, the Celsius is not good.
I don't know. I got to talk to Nurse Aubrey upstairs. She's the one that dictates my diet. She tells me what's healthy. She reads all the ingredients, man. We'll go to the store and I'm like, all right, I'm going to cook this, and I go to grab some. She's like, yeah, nope, that has this too many preservatives, too many added sugars. And I'm just like, all right. I guess I'm going to live a long, miserable life.
It's is it the Monster or is the Rockstar? I think it's the mocha. I have to have chocolate coffee in the morning, chocolate especially in the morning. I love my chocolate.
You guys have chocolate milk down there? I mean, not chocolate milk, coffee milk.
Coffee milk.
Never heard of it, huh? Never heard of it, huh? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do for you, buddy?
What's that?
Remind me when I go down there. I'm gonna bring you a bottle of New England coffee milk.
All right,
you're gonna be
New England coffee milk.
Yeah, you're gonna be addicted.
Addicted. All right. Sounds good. All right, let's go back to these comments here. Open phone lines. What do you think about Lavonte David right there? Let's see. Honestly, there has to be better places to get donuts than Dunkin', right?
Again, we got one right here. Ma's Donuts, man. The donuts are like the size of my head, Peter.
I think we're
Fresh,
aiming
too.
to get one of these sponsorships. So, Peter walked into the cream one. Damn, Louie. I walked into it. I usually get the frozen McCafe coffee with sugar-free vanilla at McDonald's Next Level. Okay. Well, that's interesting. All right. Maybe
shout out to Ben. He was the first caller of the Frozen Fire podcast.
Well, there you go. Shout out to Ben. Absolutely. Dark chocolate covered donut with Bavarian cream filling. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Beautiful. All kinds of sugar. I love it. TWD is awesome. The Walking Dead, Krispy Kreme. Thank you. Lamar, if you're into energy drinks and you like flavor, look for a coffee stand that sells Lotus energy drinks that are amazing.
I've heard of those.
Oreo Blast and Sonic is sinfully good.
As long as it's extra Oreos.
Guilty, I do the White Monster. Yeah, I think I do. I don't. Is it a Monster or a Rockstar? I think it's a Monster.
I don't know. I think they call those heart attacks.
Probably do. They probably do. All right. So let's talk about what Rondé Barber had to say about Baker Mayfield. He said this on the Rondé Barber show there on WFLA, which, by the way, Rhett Matthew, one of our good friends of this show, just got a job with them. So congratulations to him. The Cannon Fire podcast. So he deserves it right out of broadcasting school. Another Connecticut School of Broadcasting graduate, which, by the way, does not exist here anymore in Florida, which is sad because there have been so many talented people that have come out of there, so many talented broadcasters. So it's crazy.
Call it the Connecticut.
The Connecticut
podcast. Is it in Connecticut?
Yes. Well, it's in Connecticut. It's all over the place. It used to be in Florida. It used to be in Tampa. I believe it's still in Orlando, maybe. But it used to be in Tampa. And there's a lot of broadcasters, and Rhett's one of them. Cole Pfeiffer, he calls the show. He was one of them. Jay Retcher went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Shout out to Jay.
Pat Donovan went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. There's a lot of people that went to that school. So this is what Rondé Barber had to say. Again, congratulations to Rhett Matthew. Baker's a top 10 quarterback for me, man. I don't see how anybody can say otherwise. By the way, let the truth set you free. That's absolutely correct, Rondé Barber. That's the reason why you got your own show on WFLA. Congratulations. And, of course, why you're a Hall of Famer. When comparing Mayfield to other quarterbacks around the league, Barber chose him over Tua, Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, even longtime star Matthew Stafford didn't get the edge. Maybe 5 years ago, Stafford, maybe. But right now, I'm Baker Mayfield. He said, Barber pointed out to one key area for Mayfield to improve, turnovers. What I love to see Baker do is not turn the ball over so much. I mean, he threw 16 interceptions. I don't see why you don't have that same type of production. I can see another 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns a year for me. So there you go. That's what Rondé had to say. He also said this about Baker Mayfield. The leadership qualities just jump out at you. The dude makes tough plays in tough situations. He elevates the entire team. Baker is a top 10 quarterback for me, man. I don't see how anybody can say otherwise. He has a new coordinator every single year of his career, including this year. And I don't know if that matters. I don't know if that matters. The guy just elevates his game to whatever level he needs to be at. So there you go. That's what Rondé Barber had to say about Baker Mayfield. And to me, it makes lots of sense. He is a top 10 quarterback. And why, oh, why does he not get more recognition around the National Football League? Maybe not the National Football League, from the national media, if you will, because they just continue to hold those previous seasons over his head. And, of course, when he was in college. So I feel like he's never going to get that credit, that respect. And it's a good thing because Mayfield loves to play with a chip on his shoulder. So to me, I think it works in the Bucs' favor. It works in Mayfield's favor. He loves when he has a chip on his shoulder. What are your thoughts on Rondé Barber's comments?
I mean, Rondé Barber, he knows football, right? He's a Hall of Famer. I really enjoy listening to Rondé Barber. It's a good flow. It's a good change from everything else that's out there. And he studies film and he knows the tape. And one thing that really stood out to him is and I believe he talked about it, was Baker Mayfield's leadership. He said, that was the guy that we needed to fill in the void after Tom Brady left. I believe those were his words.
Correct.
So exactly, it was a void. We had a void at quarterback, and he came in, and nobody really knew anything. And then it was Trask, it was Baker, and then who was it going to be? And then we're starting to hear these things and training camp that Trask is outperforming Baker. Baker's throwing interceptions, but the preseason games looked a little different, and then Baker comes in right away and he just plays lights out, and he was phenomenal. So to what Rondé is saying, I agree with Rondé. Rondé knows football. Rondé knows his stuff, man. He's very knowledgeable of the game. And who better to talk about a quarterback than Rondé? He used to go up against quarterbacks all the time. So I'd like to think he knows what he's talking about. Right, Peter?
No, I definitely think he knows what he's talking about. And I think, again, you look at, the numbers from last year, 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns. Of course, what we talked about, living to fight another day, trying to avoid that injury. He was able to avoid sacks, but avoid that injury. Don't take those big time shots. I know, when he's getting that third or fourth down, a lot of fans are excited about it. But again, it gives you cause for pause. Hopefully you don't have an injury. And then, of course, the turnover situation with the 16 interceptions, had some fumbles last year.
I get nervous with Baker running. I do. I like what he does on third downs. He keeps the play alive. But I want to see him with all the weapons this year, Peter. I think with the weapons that he has this year, I think he has a better chance. I like to see them play smart football. I want to see in order for this Buccaneer offense to improve from last year, I think the turnovers need to come down from 16 interceptions to 10 interceptions. You know, and I'm okay with 32 touchdowns. As long as he's in the 30s, as long as the turnovers are down, I'm okay with that. Hell, if it was in the high 20s for touchdowns, and that meant Bucky Irvin and Rashad White each got, 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns apiece, and the tight ends got into the you know what I'm saying? I just want to see, we need Baker for the long haul, not just for this year, but for years to come as well. I don't want to see him taking unnecessary shots, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to see that. I love Baker as our quarterback. I got his jersey. I never get a Buccaneers quarterback jersey ever. It needs to be something special. I think I have a Tom Brady Buccaneers jersey, but it's just literally just on the hopes and prayers of one day I can run into him and have that and have him sign that, which I doubt. But wishful thinking.
You never know.
Wishful thinking. You never know. But I bought it because he retired and he's part of our history, just like Baker Mayfield is part of our history. So,
continue to talk about Baker Mayfield, because I wanted to pull up this article, but you were talking about Baker Mayfield and what Liam Cohen did for him. What do you think made Baker Mayfield better as a quarterback? Because there was an article out there, and I want to get that, but I'm not seeing it right now. So go ahead and tell me what you think Liam Cohen did to Baker Mayfield's game to make it better, and then we will go back out to this article, because that's what I want to focus on, because you said something the other night about Liam Cohen getting the most out of Baker Mayfield. And I want to kind of prove the point of what he did well with Baker. Mm-hmm. So tell me what you think Liam Cohen did well with Baker Mayfield to make him a better quarterback, make this offense better.
Well, Peter, I mean, it came down to being comfortable. The minute he walked in the door, you saw the embracement of them two. They had a kind of like I don't want to sound off here. They had a kind of like a connection in LA, whatever that was. It was something, and Baker vouched to him. So Baker, I felt, was very, very comfortable with Liam. I think Liam kind of helped bring confidence back to Baker, because let's take it back a little bit. You got to think, Peter, this was a guy that was, he was told by, who was it? Somebody in the media was like, if I'm Baker Mayfield's agent, I'm telling him to retire at 28 years old.
Oh, that was Colin Cowherd. That's your boy.
Colin Cowherd, yeah.
Yeah.
He was told, imagine listening to that, and then all of a sudden, you sign, you get traded, and then you have all that stuff with the Odell situation with his father calling him out, and then the big poop show in Cleveland. You know how I feel about that franchise. But, and then going to Carolina, and then getting traded from Carolina to LA, as a human being, not just as a player, a human being, you're defeated. Most people are defeated. And I think when he got with Liam Cohen, that he gave him the confidence back, gave him that juice back. He gave him that juice, man. And that's what you need in this league. You need juice. That's my best John Gruden impersonation. I'm still working on it. But he gave him that juice and gave him that spark. And then once he came to Tampa, I think Liam really helped open up the playbook for him because let's face facts, Canales was okay, but he was inconsistent versus where Liam got creative and he knew what worked for Baker and what didn't work for Baker. And he
two shot. We got to go out to the phone lines here. We got this guy coming on. Let's go ahead and get him on. All right. I guess he hung up, but he was going to call in there. So let's go out to Harry the Greek. Hopefully we can get him on. Harry, welcome to the Evolution, leading us off tonight here.
Harry.
What's going on, boss?
Gentlemen, what's happening, guys?
Just talking about Lavonte David. As you can see, the nice jersey and the background, as I could not put it up on the wall, but I made do with something. I adjusted it, so we got it in the shot there. Ranked number 96 on the NFL 100. Let's start there really quick. Do you think that is a little bit too low and David could be a little bit higher? Louie says 70s. What do you say?
I think I might agree with Louie.
Well, there you go.
High 70s. I
think I agree with them too. I think he should be in the high 70s. I think he could be ranked higher than 9 or lower, if you will, than 96. I think 96 is way too high at this point. So
gentlemen, what's happening? What else is going on? What's the big news in Buccaneer land tonight?
Well, we were talking about Baker Mayfield, and Rondé Barber put this out there. Let's see if you agree with this on his Rondé Barber show there on WFLA Channel 8 with his live streaming show there, saying that Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback from what he's been able to do with the coordinator changes, still elevating his game. He would like him to cut down on the turnovers, but you can't see any reason, just paraphrasing, throwing for 4,000 yards again and 40 touchdowns. In your opinion, do you think that first, Rondé Barber is correct, that Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback? If he's not, why? And then, of course, Barber said he needs to improve on his turnovers. So is that, in your opinion, the biggest improvement that needs to happen to Mayfield's game for him to be considered by national media as a top 10 quarterback this year, in your opinion?
I have some reservations with that comment, to be honest with you. I think Baker's a really, really good quarterback. Top 10, that's kind of pushing it, Peter, honestly. And again, he has a tendency.
Can I give you a number? Can I give you a stat really quick? I interrupted you, but I gotta throw this out there for everybody out there saying it's crazy and far-fetched that Baker Mayfield could be looked at as a top 10 quarterback, let alone a top 5 quarterback. The last 2 years, if you look at Mayfield's numbers, they were actually better than Patrick Mahomes. Now, what do you think?
All right, I'm going to tell you what I think. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, a really good tight end, and an excellent running game. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And again, I don't quote from PFF, and I don't go by stats.
Mm-hmm.
I go by health. Can he do 3 years in a row like Leo and I were talking about? I believe it was Monday or even last week.
Good points.
If this was not the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team with the offensive weapons that they have, no, I can base it on different things. Again, Tampa's offense looks a lot better than what the Kansas City Chiefs do, and you can take a really, really good quarterback and a great quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and make them look somewhat pedestrian when they don't have the surrounding support around them. They don't have the
Let me ask you this, Greek.
Football League. Hold on. Not many teams in the National Football League have the talent that the Buccaneers have, especially at the wide receiver position. So for those reasons, and I don't think he's far off, I'd go top. I think he falls somewhere between 10 and 15, honestly. But it doesn't take a top-tier quarterback to get this team into the playoffs. It just doesn't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you agree with that, Louie?
I got to ask you a question. Mahomes, if he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, What do you think his statistics look like there? And let's just say there's a swap. You put Baker on the Chiefs right now, and Mahomes is on the Buccaneers right now, because I kind of agree with you about 70%. You can't just put a plug-and-play quarterback in that offense, but you have to have somebody of some caliber back there. But I think we could make an average quarterback look very good with the weapons that they have. So let me ask you, Harry, what do you think if it was the roles were reversed? Mahomes is a Buccaneer with the weapons, and Baker with what he has in Kansas City. Where do you think the stats line up over there?
I'm not a person that typically hypothecates, okay, but I will answer and I'll entertain that question and I'll give you a concise answer. It's not even close. The difference between Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes are two different things. Baker doesn't have the arm streak that Patrick Mahomes had. One. Two, he's not as fleet of foot as one Patrick Mahomes. Now again, Patrick Mahomes is not that fast and taking off out of the pocket. He has really great pocket awareness. That's not even a comparison there. If Patrick Mahomes was behind that offensive line for the Buccaneers with that particular running game and those wide receivers, they'd be the Super Bowl favorite. It wouldn't even be close, okay? But again, I'm not trying to downplay. I absolutely clamored for Baker Mayfield to come to Tampa. Pete will tell you that. He remembers that. He says, get on board. This is going to be your quarterback. But then again, he doesn't have to be super, super fantastic. He doesn't have to throw for 5,000 yards for this team to make it to the playoffs. I would be elated if that man could cut his turnovers back, throw for 3,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and less than 10 picks, and the running game exceeded expectations. Buddy, let me tell you something. The team would go right to the Super Bowl.
That's just what I said. No, Peter, 5 minutes ago. I said if we cut down his turnovers to at least 10, and even if he had 30, 32 touchdowns, I think this team goes deep, and that just means Bucky, Irvin, and Rashad White are carrying the load, and you got to run the football, and you have to really utilize the tight ends. I think that's the strongest point on this team, on this offense. I know a lot of people like to favor the wide receivers, Greek. I know a lot of people are very high on this wide receivers, but it's like a lot of people don't understand. Cade Otton.
Wide receivers, that's sick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not listen, Cade Otton's an okay tight end. Please,
but he makes clutch catches on the third downs.
To be a top 10. He's not a top 10 tight end. He's not a top tier tight end. Not even close. He's a serviceable tight end who can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's decent. Believe me, he's not Gronkowski.
No.
I would take Gronkowski at 50 years old over Cade Otton. The end.
Well, I don't know. I think for me,
I would say Cade Otton had his moments last year where he stepped up.
He stepped up, man.
Lots of injuries.
He draws a lot of single coverage, Pete. He doesn't draw a lot of linebackers. When you do the tapes, he's always got a linebacker on him, and they very rarely have a safety shadowing over the top of him. He doesn't command that type of respect. Now, if he comes out of the gates and Baker's looking for him, a defense will take him out of the game that quick. They will take him out of the game that quick. Where you don't do that to other type of tight ends, like some of the other tight ends that are in the National Football League that are extremely good. Cade Otton's a decent tight end, okay, but he's not the end-all, be-all.
No, I don't think he's.
I like.
Let me tell you something. It's really good.
It is really good.
Culp.
David
Culp, that kid
Culp,
really.
And
he came in towards the back end of the career. He seems like I'd like to see him get a couple more reps, man. He's a big body tight end, man, and he can catch the football. I'd like to see him get a couple of more reps this year. I'd actually like to see him over Payne Durham, to be honest with you. I'd like to see him get a couple more reps because he really looked good last year. He did. When he was in there, he came out strong. He looked good.
When Cade Otton was out and Culp got the opportunity, he definitely showed out. And, of course, Payne Durham also showed out. I don't necessarily think the tight end room is that bad, but, yes, Cade Otton is
I think that's some of the strong points. I think the tight end room is going to come up clutch this year. And I think the running game is really going to carry the load this year. You have to. You have Rashad White, you have Bucky, and you have Sean Tucker. You have a very good three-headed monster there. And I think that's in order to get to the Super Bowl this year, especially those cold weather games, you got to play defense and you got to run the football and you got to wear out the opposing defense.
Well, I agree. I completely agree. We're on with Harry, the Greek here, professional handicapper extraordinaire. You talk about the wide receiving room, of course, led by Mike Evans there. and Chris Godwin coming off an injury, and Jalen McMillan in his second half of the year and how he performed. And, of course, the rookie there, the two rookies, and Ibuka, and, of course, Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard. He may be the odd man out or may make this team. And, of course, you got Trey Palmer. So they have lots of depth at this point. It'll definitely be interesting to see. And everybody has raved about Ibuka, how he could catch everything, how he's caught anything. Even Rondé Barber was talking about, you know, how good he is and how good he can be. And I get it. Nobody has seen him play on the field, but there is a level of excitement. And then on top of that, Harry, he's in the same mold as a Chris Godwin, where you have a slot guy, you have a character player, runs good routes, not necessarily overly fast, but he's athletic enough, quick enough to get that separation. He catches everything that's thrown to him. Just a good attitude player.
You want to play the clip of Mike? What Mike had to say?
You just made a comment about 2/3 of the wide receivers in the National Football League.
Yeah.
The National Football League is full of the receivers that you just described. But there's a difference. We don't know what Godwin's going to be like coming off this injury. It was pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know what Ibuka's going to look like.
Right.
Okay. You don't know. You
Right.
just don't know. And I'm not expecting miracles from a rookie like a lot of the fans are.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have to work with the veterans that they've been given to you, plus a brand new offensive coordinator. Look, man, they're not going to come out of the gates and they're going to come out and put up 40 points a game. Hope they prove me wrong, but I doubt it's going to happen. They're going to have their struggles in the beginning part of the season. It's going to be growing pains because the preseason is not the regular season.
True.
And,
True.
you know, they just have to play Buccaneer football. You know, I mean, I'm going to say it again and again, please, guys. I'm not bashing, okay? Webheads, Greekites out there, please. I'm not bashing the Buccaneers, and I'm not bashing Baker Mayfield. So ease up on the hate mail when you send it to me.
By the way, can we not send hate mail to our host here? Can we be realistic about this?
I get quite a bit of it. I'm only telling you.
Who's sending you the hate mail? Who's sending you that?
I'm not. Of course, I'm never going to go ahead and divulge that. But it's absolutely insane.
I'll
I
take care of that for you.
don't hate the Buccaneers. I don't hate any team other than the Green Bay Packers. Okay, let's just get that.
Oh yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Right.
But Baker Mayfield is a really good quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Patrick Mahomes in this offense with this particular team would automatically be a Super Bowl favorite, especially the way they addressed the defense this year. Not even close. Not even close.
Well, I will say this, you know, to your point with Baker Mayfield not being a top 10 quarterback and putting up the numbers he did. Remember now, Mike Evans was out for a while. He was still able to have this offense at third overall, which Liam Cohen definitely had a part of that, but it was Baker Mayfield throwing the guys off the street and backups. And then furthermore, you didn't have Chris Godwin, and the guy still threw for 41 touchdowns. And
he also threw a ton of picks, and a lot of them that actually didn't get picked off.
I agree.
There were a lot of games that Baker Mayfield got very, very, very lucky.
I don't know if he's Mahomes, but the last 2 years he's been better than Mahomes stats wise. That's what the stats say. Stats, you can say whatever you want to.
Mahomes had a very stiffening defense. So there was times where, you know, when you know, a lot of people seem to forget that they had a very good defense. But I mean, he didn't have a lot of the players that he had kind of went down. You know, they had some injuries. Hey, they made it. If you ask me, he limped into the Super Bowl. He did. I got a question to ask you, though.
Well, to my point though, is that you didn't have all the wide receivers last year, and you're still able to put up numbers that are comparable.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Stop. He just brought up a valid point. Patrick Mahomes did not look good the past couple of years. You're actually starting to see a little regression, but he's still better than Baker Mayfield.
Well, stats-wise, he's not.
That defense is what made the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you're not going to – if the Buccaneers fix this defense the way I think they have, they're not going to have to ask that much out of Baker Mayfield. Trust me, Todd Bowles is going to put a little noose around him and going, hold on, man. Hold on. You don't have to throw it in the 2-foot window in triple coverage.
And see, I want to disagree with you on this too, because it is a philosophy. This is what's different about him. People go, well, I compare Todd Bowles to Tony Dungy, and I'll say no, because Dungy, I love Dungy. He built this team up, built the defense, but he was stubborn when it came to offense. And the only time he won the Super Bowl was, of course, with the Colts, where he backed away and let the offensive coordinator, who's on this team right now, and the coach's name escapes me, as the offensive coordinator, he stepped away. Todd Bowles has come out and said, we need to score more points. We need to have killer instinct. He's embraced the offense. So I'm not necessarily.
Every coach says that.
But
he's going to tell you that. But
it's different because it's not just words here, guys. They drafted first round in Ibuka, and you drafted Tez Johnson. They're trying
They also addressed
Tom
team,
Moore. Yes.
And I'm telling you now, if this defense is playing lights out like I think they're going to, trust me, you are not going to see a wide open offense unless you need it. Believe me.
I agree.
I still think you have to score points in this league. I get it. You play defense, but I think that's what's different about Todd Bowles is he's embracing this offense. He realizes, and look, that offense. I get about the defense, but I'll go back to this again against the Commanders. That offense let this team down because that is their strength. Now, whether the defense couldn't get off the field, but the offense has to score more
9 minutes.
I get it.
Quarter, Peter.
But you also
9 minutes.
You
7 minutes.
You have to do
5
more.
minutes.
You have to do more.
Louie had a question for me. Give it to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Leo.
Leo,
I got
Leo.
a question. No, because listen, it's a vacation week. It's everything's all scrambled up. Hey, you don't say that. Anyways, Greek, I got a question for you. So I give myself a $500 allowance at the beginning of every football season. Is it safe for me to take $100 right now and just put it on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl?
By the way, plus 3,000 odds to win the Super Bowl.
No, you wouldn't do it.
No, never bet on your own team to actually win the Super Bowl.
Why?
You can bet on them to win the division. Well, I've given it 100 million different ways because you're betting with your heart, not your mind. Okay? And always remember this, Louie, you and I have some conversations. I've always said, keep your bets low and your returns high. That's a low bet and a very high expectation for a return. But always remember, the price will always make up for the pick. I don't expect you to understand what that means. I will explain it to you some other time, but no, I would not bet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl preseason for $100 unless you had 100 just to throw away right now. Not meaning they're going to throw away. Can they get there? Yes, but
like I said,
and what I wanted to say is I don't like proposition bets.
Okay.
So
I give myself $500 for the year as an allowance through the season. But this year, I kind of want to be a little bit more strategic with it. I do a lot of stupid things with the big parlays. It's kind of like I'm reaching. I mean, I made a little bit of cash, but I want to be a little bit smarter this year. That's all. I needed a little bit of advice. That's all.
Well, again, let me throw this.
It's easier to bet against this. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are starting to become one of the favorites. By the end of next week, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be top 2 or top 3 to win the Super Bowl. Bet against that. Bet the under on whatever their win total is going to be. It's going to be the first year that Pittsburgh, in my opinion, under Mike Tomlin does not have a winning season.
Wow.
It's going to be what you call the Aaron Rodgers effect.
Wow.
But again,
I agree. I agree with that.
I don't condone. Okay, that's one thing I don't do. I don't condone proposition bets. I just don't get into them much, and I'm sure you can understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the odds for the Bucs. They are the 13th best when it comes to winning the Super Bowl, plus 3,000.
Ooh, lucky 13.
Yeah, lucky 13. And then with that being said, NFC South is even. Is that a bet that you would throw out there if you're not throwing a Super Bowl bet? Is it smart money, if you will, Greek? And we're on with Terry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire on the sports web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Louie Lateo here. Louie of the Frozen Pirate podcast. Is that a smart bet, Harry the Greek, to go with the Bucs winning the NFC South? Yes or no?
Yes, I like it as long as you're not having to lay the juice.
Okay.
Okay, so right now they're even money. Last year it was a steal. I got 4-1 on my money.
And how much did you make on that? Shekels.
I'm not allowed to divulge that for obvious reasons, but
a gentleman doesn't tell.
I bet it wasn't cheap, and it was quite a bit of money.
Okay. All right. Good
I think
stuff.
there was quite a bit of money, but even money is not bad. If you're minus 150, minus 200, no. I would if you again, the price makes up for the pick. Please understand what that means. What's Carolina at? They plus 400, plus 500, plus 600.
Mm.
You kind of understand where I'm going to on this.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying they're going to win it. Long season, guys. Baker
That's
Mayfield
right.
hasn't been able to stay healthy for 3 straight years in a row. It's okay to be a fan, but it's also okay to be realistic. Do I think the Buccaneers are going to go to the playoffs this year and win the South? Absolutely. You lose your quarterback, I have no idea what happens.
Well,
there.
you're a
And I
trash
still-
guy.
Listen, the last two
So
two
what?
out of 3 games this year. Listen, I'll
You didn't let me finish, smartass.
Yeah,
But this running game and defense would still be good enough
agree.
to win the NFC South.
Agree.
Okay?
All right.
And so for those reasons, I don't ever bet before the season starts who's going to win the Super Bowl. Not because it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, people, it's not that I hate the Bucs. It's I don't believe in proposition bets, and I never bet who wins the Super Bowl before week 1. Never have, never will.
All right. Good stuff, Greek. Anything else here on the evolution? You're going to come on video, or what are you doing here?
Probably, maybe, I don't know. It just depends. I got to get a little. I got to get a little. What's cooking in the South in my gut here? Okay.
What are you eating for the South?
What do you mean? What did I have for dinner?
What'd you have for dinner? Yeah. What's
let me
cooking in the
see.
kitchen with the
Nothing.
Greek? No, nothing. Okay. What's
What's
cooking?
cooking in the kitchen with the Greek? I don't know, but I'm sure I'm going to have some leftovers. I'm absolutely starving. Little update. The New York Yankees gave up 7 runs in the first inning today against the Blue Jays, and they've actually made a comeback. And from what I understand, it's in the top of the 6th inning, 2 outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd, and the Yankees are only down 1. They're losing 8-7.
Well, there you go. There's your Rays update as the Rays win today, hoping the Yankees lose and the Blue Jays continue to stay red hot. And it's not just the Rays right now in the AL East or the Yankees. It is the Blue Jays. They're getting hot at the right time. This is baseball right here. This is the reason why this division is so tough when it comes down to it. Greek, we appreciate the time here on the evolution.
Absolutely.
Right?
Anytime. Gentlemen, have a good day. You too, Peter.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Good
Thank
stuff.
you,
Here.
Greek.
Get out of here, Greek. All right, good stuff there. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So topics of discussion for the night. Lavonte David ranked number 96. Is that too high? Is it what's the word I'm looking at? Is it too low at this point? Should it be higher or should it be lower? That high?
It's a how can I say? What's the word I'm looking for here? It's debatable. It's
right.
It's debatable in my opinion.
What about Rondé Barber and his comments about Baker Mayfield? Do you believe, and I'll put this out there on Facebook tomorrow, do you believe what Barber said, that Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback? Open phone line 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Producer doing a great job. Ask
Thank
for
you.
phone calls and get phone calls. Let's go out to one of my favorite webheads there from Newport Richie, Curtis. Curtis,
Bro,
welcome to the evolution, boss.
That was way too low for Lavonte David.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like 96?
Too high.
30-something
Too
years
high.
old.
It's too high. It's not low enough. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too high. Yeah.
Not that other high though.
Listen, let me tell you something. If Lavonte David was to hit free agency, how many teams would have been pounding at his door?
Well, the 49ers reportedly.
Yeah. There's a
Bills.
couple of teams: the Bills, the Niners, the Rams, and I believe the Dolphins. It wasn't many. I'm telling you, it wasn't many. It was about 4 or 5 teams. But I mean, those 4 or 5 teams would be lucky to have them.
The way he talks about Miami, I would not have been surprised if he wanted to go down with the Miami Dolphins, especially with the Walker kid at the time being down there, knowing him now, Walker Jr. being with the Bucs. I would have not been surprised if he left a couple of years ago to join this kid and join his friend down there. I believe at the time, Sean Spence, that's what he said, but he definitely loved Miami. He talked about it glowingly, if you will, on the interview here on the Evolution.
Dude, you're talking about, I mean, a lot of people might disagree with this. I mean, to me, you can put Lavonte David in the Hall of Fame right now.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Right now. And some people
if he breaks Brooks's record, it's unanimous. You can't deny that. It's unanimous. And the national media needs to understand that if he breaks Brooks's record, Derek Brooks to me is my favorite Buccaneer of all time.
Let's throw this out there. We had TJ Reeves, the media icon, on with us. He did the top 10 Bucs of all time. He had Lavonte David, I believe, ranked at number 6.
Let's
hold on.
Okay.
If David breaks Brooks's record,
hold on,
which is a certainty. Hold on, I'm going to ask the question here. Hold on. Does David go up in top 10 Bucs of all time?
He has to.
How far does he go past Tom Brady at number 4? According to
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
So you're talking about top 3?
Only Peter because of Peter number 1 because of his longevity as a Buccaneer.
Okay,
that's number 1. Number 2. I mean, this guy has been there through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
How many opportunities had he probably had to leave? And
Plenty.
he stayed.
Plenty, just like Mike Evans. Yeah.
And I mean,
well, who's put in more work though? As far this is a question I got to ask you too, Curtis. As far as the body of work, if he breaks Derek Brooks's record from 2012 to now, the body of work, the impact that this guy's had on the team, the leadership, really outside of Mike and Derek, nobody else. He is Mr. Buccaneer at that point. I mean, you got to crown somebody. I get it. It's Leroy Selman to a lot of people, but that wasn't my generation.
Rondé Barber.
Yeah, Rondé Barber too.
Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp went to the Raiders. I love Sapp. Sapp QB killer 99. And he won a title. But I mean, honestly, Lavonte David, this may not sound popular to people, and this is just my opinion, but I think Lavonte David's done a little bit more than Warren Sapp. And I get it. That's not a popular thing to say. Hey, well, Sapp and Brooks anchored this deep. All right. It's kind of like Patriot fans. All right. That's the past. You have to move forward. And right now, Lavonte David he's not the future, but you get what I'm saying. We're in the present moment. He's been here longer than Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
So, Louie, let's remember this, Louie and Peter. When the Bucs won the Super Bowl in 2020, we had Devin White next to Lavonte David.
Correct.
Devin White said in plenty of his interviews, he had to work his ass off to keep up with this guy. And this guy is still doing it at a high level.
Still.
5 years later.
Yep.
And Lavonte David was what, 29 when we won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was already he was already an 8-9 year veteran when we won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And he's still doing it at a high level 5 years later. Like,
right.
Are you serious right now?
It's crazy. It's nuts.
This guy he's still running sideline to sideline at his age. Like, I remember watching Derek Brooks get old on the field, and I was like, man, I love Derek Brooks, but man, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. It was time. Even Rondé, when Rondé switched to safety, I thought Rondé could have played another year. I was like, man, Rondé looks good.
Rondé looked good at safety, man. He played free safety. He did all right in that Schiano defense. If they would have kept Michael Bennett, I think they would have done fine.
The ghost of Michael Bennett. Ugh.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they ever got rid of him.
Well, because of the supposedly a shoulder injury at the time and the money aspect, and they wanted to move on with their guys. So,
yeah, well, you know what, Peter? I
always say this story. Steve White was on with Sean King on 1010 AM, and he would swear up and down as I would talk to him about this, because we had him on the Sports Web or, the Sports Mob at the time with Jenna Lane and the Godfather doing a draft show from the press box, and he would swear up and down that Michael Bennett was the best pass rusher on that team, period, at that point. And he didn't understand why the guy wasn't getting more love. He didn't understand it. And he was right, because Bennett moved on to Seattle and Detroit and Chicago and was highly productive, and the Bucs floundered with trying to find.
I think he did a stint with the Patriots too.
He did do a stint with the Patriots. Absolutely. You're correct about that. He did. Yeah. All right, Curtis, what else?
I just, man, I'm gonna say this: the level of disrespect for Mike Evans and Lavonte David is just despicable.
Yep.
Well, I don't think the level of disrespect is there for Mike anymore. I think Mike is very popular now. Up here in Massachusetts, they talk about him.
But Louie, my point to you is look how long it took for Mike to get the love that he's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but the problem with that is, Curtis, is just that they weren't racking up wins. And me and Peter were talking about this earlier. It's the same thing with Lavonte David. The biggest problem is when it comes time for prime time, and believe me, we know because we're fans, we see it. But the problem is when it came down to prime time, we lost. Nobody will remember. Like people will remember, like that one-handed catch that Mike made with the Color Rush uniform. That's an iconic. Picture.
Atlanta Falcons on Thursday Night Football. They lose.
Guess what? Nobody talks about it. They lost, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I remember that.
They also,
and one thing if they won that game,
56-14, drubbing by the Falcons on prime time.
I'm going to say this, Louie. The NFL picks and chooses who they want to, and I'm going to tell you why, Louie. I'm going to tell you why I say this.
Okay.
For years, who the hell did DeAndre Hopkins have throwing him the ball in Houston? And DeAndre Hopkins got all the recognition in the world.
Yeah.
Mike Evans didn't get that.
No.
And he was out there consistently every year. That's all I'm saying, Louie.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins also, the Houston Texans, there was some ridiculous plays that Deshaun Watson.
Thanks a lot for the call, man. Use that second call later on. All right, my friend.
DeAndre Hopkins and
you had Deshaun Watson at
the time. They were phenomenal together.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, Peter, it is what it is. We can't cry over spilled milk. Like they're getting the recognition now, and I think people are going to really see these two guys. I think once we stop playing primetime games this year, they're going to be like Lavonte David. He's going to be a focal point. Mike Evans is going to be a focal point of those games, and they're going to be like they're going to pull up the statistics, and then people are going to see national media and fans alike are going to see, holy crap! Look, this guy Lavonte David, where's he been? Like who is this? What? He's going to pass Derek Brooks? Like as long as it comes with wins. That's when the popularity really comes in. I mean, hell, Lavonte David is a phenomenal player. Mike Evans is a phenomenal player, but they got to put together the wins. That's the issue, So, I mean, I want to pull up a graphic here real quick, Peter, because this has kind of been irking me here. So, this is the top 10. That's better. This is the top 10 that Fox put out. Now, let's take a look at this list real quickly. Let's analyze this real quickly. I mean, because I talked about this last night. Yes, everybody, I was on last night. If you missed it, you can go back to the YouTube channel, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. It's there. Vacation week. So, best quarterbacks heading into 2025. So, I talked about this. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I disagree with this list a little bit, and I may be biased. I don't think Dak Prescott belongs at 10. I can see Jaden Daniels. I would put Jaden Daniels at
Dak Prescott doing there.
Listen, I have not a clue. So
Zero.
For me,
number one, you suck right there.
Tom does not agree.
Yeah, number one, absolutely, Josh Allen.
Allen,
yes,
okay,
absolutely, hands down. He had a fantastic season, even though they didn't win this. Actually, no, I'm lying to you. Lamar Jackson is one because he had a fantastic season this year. They came up a little short. Josh Allen's number two. I'd put Joe Burrow 3, Mahomes 5, and I put Baker at 4.
Burrow hasn't
but he had the statistics last year. You can't say he hasn't done enough because he had awesome statistics last year, just like Baker. But he falls into that category. They didn't win enough games. That's the problem. So for me, it's Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert should be on this list.
Yeah, the kid's good. They're working out some kinks. And honestly, you take a guy like Justin Herbert and you put him on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're talking about somebody who's probably going to get 4,900 yards passing. Hands down. I'm telling you, the kid's nasty. He's good. But I do disagree with this list. Matthew Stafford should be in the position of 9 in my opinion. He shouldn't be an honorable mention because Matthew Stafford balled out. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, Kyle Murray, Bo Nix. I mean, I'd take Bo Nix over Dak Prescott. So it's stuff like this.
Is this predicting what 2025?
No, they're saying the best quarterbacks heading into the 2025 season. But at least
they got Baker as a top 10 quarterback. Harry, you watching this now? Number 7. They got Patrick Mahomes at number 2. I like the Allen pick. Mahomes. I think you could actually go. I think you could go Lamar Jackson at 2.
Yeah, Mahomes, I mean, like I said, it's
Jalen Hurts,
Baker Mayfield a dark horse.
Jalen Hurts at 4. Joe Burrow at 5. He's got to do more. Keeps on getting injured. He put some numbers up last year. He's got to be more consistent for me. But I go 5 with him. I'm going to go 6 Baker over Jared Goff. Look at the numbers from last year compared Goff and Mayfield.
Yeah. I'm putting him in my top 5. I'm putting Baker in my top 5. I'm telling you. I think
definitely
the guy you got to get Jalen Hurts out of there. Baker beat Jalen Hurts. I mean, I get it. He's in there because he won the Super Bowl. But I think Baker overall is better than Jalen Hurts. I think he belongs in that top tier, that top 5, in my opinion.
Leave that up there because we got some. I want to get out to some of these comments here, but leave that up there. We'll answer the question again. Huh? Yeah, I like that. Good job, producer. Very good. Very
killing
good.
It.
Yeah, you're killing it like always. Open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. As you heard from the Greek. Greek says that Baker's not a top 10 quarterback. That's okay. That's his opinion. He thinks he's on the cusp of 10 to 15, a little bit outside of it. I think some of the media thinks that too. I definitely agree with Rondé Barber. He's a top 10 quarterback, maybe even a top 5 quarterback. What do you think, Bucs fans? 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Ben says with Baker, he's going to throw picks because he's aggressive style of quarterback, play for better or worse. Hopefully he does keep the interceptions down this year. Good point, Ben. Aloha Greek says Lamar. Christopher Cole, LBD should be in the 75-80 range, depending on who's ahead of him. That's the other question of the night. Lavonte David, too high at this point, should be ranked a little bit lower in the 70s, even lower than that. Again, open phone line, 727-255-0391. Whoa, 10. Who are 9 other quarterbacks you would take over Baker? Joshua, it's a great point. You look at the list here. I think, again, you could compare the numbers to these quarterbacks. I guarantee you they're very comparable. And if Baker won more games and had less interceptions and this team were more successful in the playoffs, I think the conversation would shift that Baker Mayfield could be the MVP. I do.
Right.
Because the numbers are comparable to the top quarterbacks.
If he's in the NFC Championship game and they lose by a bullcrap field goal, I think it's unanimous. It's
and
tough.
He cuts down on the interceptions too. The 16 interceptions, but 41 touchdowns, 4,500 passing yards. It's definitely top 10 quarterback, if not top 5. Right? I mean, come on, Josh Allen, Patrick
12
Mahomes,
rushing touchdowns for Josh Allen too this year. So
I would take Baker over Jalen Hurts. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
What do you think Joe Burrow would look like on this Bucs offense? He'd annihilate it. He probably. Yep. I would go ahead and say, and I'll go ahead and say it. He'd have a Tom Brady like year. He'd probably shatter Brady's record for most passing.
And here's the thing: it's easy to say that, and then you look at all the injuries the Bucs had wide receiving core, right? The wide receiving core for Baker Mayfield.
Joe Burrow don't have an offensive line like the Buccaneers do, Peter.
But
Joe Burrow don't have a running game like the Buccaneers do. That's why I'm saying you get a guy like Joe Burrow on the Buccaneers. I'm telling you, them 2 guys right there, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, them 2 guys are lethal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think Baker deserves a lot of credit though with the wide receivers going out last year. Let's see, tight end room is slim pickings. We talked about that. My current top 10 NFL quarterbacks: Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Stafford. I think it's a little bit too high, but okay, Ben. 6, Goff, Jalen Hurts 7, Jaden Daniels 8, 9, Baker, 10, CJ Stroud. I think you throw Stroud over Dak Prescott.
You about to say something else. You don't like him,
I'm not taking current Goff or Stafford nor Jalen over Baker personally. tend to agree with you on that. I would take Baker over Goff, Stafford, and Jalen. I would.
He beat those guys.
Makes lots
But
of
then
points.
again, the problem is Jaden beat me.
Not a top 10 as well. Joshua says, name me 9 other quarterbacks. We're doing that right now. Tom Moore. It is Tom Moore. Maybe some BA influence pouring in for Bowles. I think also. I think that could be.
Good
but
comment. Good comment.
I think, listen, what you see from Todd Bowles is encouraging because not only do you hire somebody from Jacksonville and Zach Beastline, a guy that's going to come in and help with timeouts and those crucial situations that he has been, just completely criticized for by this fan base. He's admitted to that. And he's also admitted to the fact that this team needs to have better killer instinct. They need to have more offense. And that's the reason why you drafted Ibuka in the first place, because you may not necessarily believe that you have enough offensive weapons, especially with all the injuries he had last year. You got to score points. So he's not stubborn in his ways. He's not. I think that's the reason why he also earned a contract extension. He's not stubborn. He's not a defense or conservative guy. What we heard from Todd Bowles, and we've seen him be aggressive. We've seen him do that. So let's see if it transitions over to this year and this coaching job. We've seen it, though. We've seen it. Does he do it more this year? I agree with the Greek Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be horrible. Sap is arguably number 1, says Joshua Dietz. Okay, that's the other one we put out there. Lavonte David, if he surpasses Derek Brooks, does he go up? Just according to TJ Reeves, the media icon, the top 10 there, would you put him higher in the top 10 Bucs list of all time? That dude had a league scared of him before he had any support. Talking about Sap. My top 10 Bucs of all time right now: Brooks, Sapp, Selman, 4 Barber, 5 Evans, 6 Brady, 7 Lavonte, Simeon Rice at 8, 9 Allstott, and 10 John Lynch. Interesting. Good stuff, man. Appreciate that. Joshua says, goes back to the Bucs Mount Rushmore I have to call. Number 1, Leroy Selman. 2, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, and Rondé Barber. It's pretty good. I think Mike Evans is there somewhere, don't you?
I think Mike is on that Mount Rushmore. I mean, he's the greatest offensive player we've ever had.
Besides James Wilder. Yes, agree.
Nah, Mike's the greatest.
Well, yeah, he's going to surpass. I think still there are old school Buccaneer fans that would say James Wilder is.
Yeah, that's why it's tough, Peter, to have these conversations, especially for someone like me, because I'm 95 and on. That's it's different eras.
So welcome to the evolution. Not everything is popsicles and rainbows, my friend. Okay.
Speaking of, we're going to continue with the comments because I kind of want to transition into something because this is a hot topic that a lot of people want to talk about.
Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, 4 Burrow, 5 Herbert, Mayfield. See, again, I'm taking Mayfield over Herbert. I think he's overrated. I really do. I think he's overrated. Yes, he is.
I don't think so.
He's overrated to me. 7 Daniels, 8 Hurts, 9 Stroud, 10 Bo. Mike is, but I look at Mount Rushmore, the founders first to do it. I think Mike's in that conversation. And I said this a couple of years ago. Mike may be in the conversation as not only one of the top 10, top 5 Bucs of all time, one of the greatest Bucs of all time, especially if he surpasses Jerry Rice, makes it to the Hall of Fame, and has won a Super Bowl at the same time. You're surpassing that Jerry Rice record. That means a lot. That's a major record that you surpass. And Jerry Rice is looked at in the annals of, NFL history as not only one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, but one of the greatest players of all time. I know you want to shift gears here, but I want to throw this out there because you threw this at me the other night. We had a debate on Liam Cohen. This, according to Joe Bucks fan. Thanks a lot again for the shout outs. Appreciate you guys. Do great work there. Radio show on Saturdays with the great Ira Kaufman, the Sage, and of course, Rock Riley there doing great stuff for WDAE. This is from analyst Warren Sharp, detailing Sharp's football analysis from the 2025 preview with Cohen and how he differed from previous Buccaneer offensive coordinators Dave Canales and Byron Leftwich. He says Cohen made the very smart decision to be pass first on early downs to start games, something Canales and Leftwich refused to do. In 2024, in the first half, the Bucs ranked number 10 in first down pass rate, up from 31st in 2023, and number 5 in early down pass rate, up from 25 in 2023. He also says, as a result, the first half early down efficiency spiked. Number six in success rate in the league, 53%, up from 30 in 2023 with 34%. Number 8 in expected points added, which I guess a 0.04, up from 28 in 2023 with minus 0.15. A lot of analytics there, a lot of numbers. And number 7 in yards per play, 6.2, up from 29 in 2023 with 4.6. So there you go. That's what it comes down to with the Bucs. And of course, they finished the regular season third in the league in total yards, 399.5 average. If you go ahead and average that up, it'd be 400. Fourth in points scored per contest, 29.5, as Mayfield posted career highs in passing yards, 4,500. Touchdowns, 41. Completion percentage, by the way, 71.4%, and passer rating 106.8. Not a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback. 70% completion percentage, 41 touchdowns, 4,500 yards. Nah, that's top 10. That's top 5 to me.
Yeah.
He said
I would definitely say so.
He said also Sharp noted that Cohen benefited from running back Bucky Irving playing like a future superstar at the position, a rookie, finishing his first pro season ranked 10th in the NFL with 1,122 rushing yards, tied for 15th with 8 rushing scores. So there you go. That's the reason why you would say Cohen had an impact, because he changed it up from what Canales and Byron Leftwich would do, which was you would run the ball on the earlier downs and the defenses would catch up. Now you're passing, and you're getting into those manageable situations, if you will, when it comes to third down, because instead of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, it's 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 7. Those are the manageable situations where you can also run Baker, where he likes to scramble if he's going to avoid a sack or needs that third down. I know a lot of people don't want to see that, but that is a weapon. That has been a weapon that you've seen the last couple of years.
Because linebackers gotta, you gotta put a spy out there, because you kind of have an idea now, like, hey, this dude not afraid to run. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 6. He's not afraid to tuck it and run.
Come off that quarterback list here. What's on your mind here on the?
All right. So here's my thing. So we have, so I don't know how true it is.
Yeah.
But Buccaneers may add white creamsicle uniforms.
Well, they have been teasing this. They teased this the other day.
They did.
And he said you saw HBC. And it looked like Steve Spurrier walking into his office. So if you know anything about the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who was the first starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the old ball coach right there, Steve Spurrier. And what uniform did he wear? Go ahead and show the still there, my friend.
There it is right there.
There it is right there. The great Leroy. Is that it?
That's it right there. White on white, right? So this is what I wanted to talk to everybody out. Here's a question that I have for everybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
So if they bring this uniform back, look, Peter, it's unanimous. I'm going to go ahead and say this on SportsWeb right now. It's going to be against the Seahawks.
I think so too.
Both teams came in in the same year. So in my opinion, it's going to be against the Seahawks. But I got to ask people. Let me take that down real quick.
Well, I think you got the wrong image, because I was going to throw this out there. Let me see, because this is what I'm thinking.
Well, I was going to ask people the question.
Mm-hmm.
If they do bring back the white creamsicles, the aways, would you guys rather see a white on white? Let me know in the comments. White on white? Or do you want, the white with the orange pants? I'll go ahead and say it. I'm not a fan of the orange pants. I think this is the much cleaner look. That white on white, especially this day and age. I love that. I think that's clean.
I think you're missing it here, my friend.
Really? What am I missing?
Oh, hold on a second.
What am I missing here? I mean,
you're missing it.
Look at this. There's no comparison, man. I mean, the pants are okay, but they don't. I don't know. It just doesn't go well. It's not clean. It's too outdated.
See, you got to do me a favor. You got to go back. You got to go to this right here. Let me see if I can show this. That
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't
is
have that
what
ready.
that right there is what you may have. I understand what you're saying with this right here. Right? I think it's this. I think it's this instead. And I'll tell you why. I think it's this.
It's the same uniform, Pete.
It's not.
How do you figure it's not?
Look again. It's red numbers, white.
Oh, sorry.
Green numbers, white. See?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you did there.
White with creamsicle.
Yes.
And they said Steve Spurrier. That's the first uniform right there.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the uniform.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, because I'm looking at this. Yeah, it's a much different.
Well, they did the red numbers. But you have to look at the reason why they did Steve Spurrier in the first place. Of course, he's the first quarterback. But what did he wear?
Yeah.
I was going to point this out last night to you.
Yeah, you should have.
Well, I was busy. I was working. That's right there. That's the uniform.
Yeah, you could be right. You think they modify it and tweak it a little bit?
I will bet you a steak dinner that is the uniform they go with.
No, I'm not going to make that bet because I think you're right.
You're damn right I'm right. All right. Yeah. Let's go on to Alex here. Alex, welcome to the Evolution. Your Rays win today. So many things to talk about, my friend. Yes.
A lot of things. We're talking about the Bucs and the creamsicle. I'm not a fan of the orange pants. Let me go off and say that right now.
Thank you.
I don't think I don't think it's going to be orange pants. I'd be surprised if it's orange pants. It would be nice, but I think they're going to go back to the Steve Spurrier look.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of the white. I mean, of the white too much, just because I'm not a fan of like dirty ass uniforms. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you took it down, Peter. There it is.
But I mean, then again, it's football, so either way, I'm not a fan of the creamsicle or the orange sickle, whatever you can call it. Pants. I like the white on white. I think that's a good. I think it's a good color to go with.
Yeah, I agree, Alex. White on white is the way to go. Those orange, it just there's too much going on, and then you got red numbers, and it's just complete opposite. I'm gonna ask you guys real quickly: would you guys be opposed for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to kind of bring back that color scheme as like an alternate jersey, not a creamsicle, but use? No, you don't want to do that.
No, I don't listen. I don't hate the white on the.
I will say this. Sorry to cut you off, Peter, because this is kind of right up my alley here. The uniforms, and a buddy of mine, Jamie, who says this is meaningless to talk about, but it's interesting when I talk about it. In my opinion, I think it'd be cool, especially early on in the season, on one of those hot days, the 1 o'clock games. I think they should roll out like an alternate uniform, kind of like with the white helmet. I remember, so dating back to the digital alarm clock era, right? You remember the alternate pants they used to use? They were orange and red, like kind of like a sword. They need to bring those pants back and maybe kind of modify like the jersey that they have now, like the white, and just kind of make like the orange and the red. Forget about the pewter and stuff like that, and kind of like an alternate, because you're allowed an alternate helmet, your throwback helmet, and then the helmet that I think you're allowed 3 helmets. I'm telling you, I want to get it out there. I think that'd look very clean. Like I can't pull up the picture right now, because God forbid if I do that, because my computer will crash in the process of getting a new one and building. But I think if you put in, I wish I could find it. You know what? Go full screen, Peter. I'm gonna go and hunt for this thing.
I disagree. I disagree on the pewter. I like the pewter. That's kind of my favorite, to be honest.
I like the pewter too. And listen, I understand.
What do you think about pewter? What do you think? Sorry to cut you off, but I get really excited talking about the uniforms. What do you think about this, Alex? So I had this proposition. I said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for the primetime games, especially at home, how they did a color rush jersey. The digital alarm clock numbers were terrible. But what about doing an all-black uniform with the pewter pants that they have now, the pewter hats, a black jersey, right? with pewter numbers, with like maybe like the red and pewter outline, something like that. What do you think about something like that? I think it'd look pretty good.
I think that would look so freaking cool, dude.
The problem
Yeah,
is you do the black guys. The problem is you do the and everybody loves the black uniforms. You do a black uniform, you're not going to wear it because it's hot. People already
No, they're prime time. Like the New Orleans Saints, when they play certain opponents, they have the alternate helmets. I'm telling you, it's okay to change, Peter. It's okay to evolve.
Sunday night, baby.
The pewter uniforms, the all pewter are not bad. I like those. And look at that Lavonte David white uniform. Everybody complains about Lavonte David and they complains about the white uniforms, wearing them too much, but the reason why they wear them. But you're exactly right. You wear them prime time. I think you go with red over black. But I get it. I get what you're saying about the black uniforms. There was a black
red and pewter, guys. Red jersey, pewter pants. Would you agree with that?
I mean, that's their color scheme. That's always their color scheme. It's been their color scheme.
That's a good. I like that color scheme. But I agree.
They need to change
I agree with Louie there. I mean, it would be nice to see some black mixed in
on prime time. Tell me not. Like, imagine seeing a blacked out pirate ship.
Like Thursday night game or a Sunday night game, if it's at home, especially when it's not so hot. Yeah, that'd be fire.
That's what I'm saying. On primetime games at night, I think those would be fantastic.
I'm telling you right now, though, if we bet on this, so Alex, what do you think about this color scheme here? This white on white with Steve Spurrier, white on white with the creamsicle numbers. What do you like? You like that?
I like it. It's fire, and a lot of people disagree with the white on white with that, but I think it looks good.
I think
especially
it does too.
People got to remember too. Hello, we're in Florida. It's hot as shit.
And then it's hot as exactly it is, especially at Rays games, buddy. All right.
Hey, listen, before I get out of here, guys, I appreciate you guys as always. You know, I always appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
But hey, Peter, just real quick, buddy. Man, the Rays pulled out a last-minute win. Man, that game came down to the bases loaded, three balls, 2 strikes. They were 1 pitch away from Oakland tying the game again and blowing it. But he got a strike 3 call on a low sweeper, and we pulled out the victory. Hopefully, you were able to see some of that game. An inside the park homer by Jake Mangum was kind of cool too to see.
Yep.
Not really, especially in Steinbrenner being such a small field. It's kind of
the guy goes for it in center field and he misses it, and Mangum just turns it on there, goes around the bases, and not even close. The throw's not even close. He was safe by a mile. And then you got Yandy again coming through. But it's been tough lately. Listen, you give credit to this team. They're in a 3, they lost 3 in a row. So you win today. You salvage that series. It is disappointing that you lose to the Baltimore Orioles, who are in last place. It's disappointing that you lose the series versus the Oakland A's. But once again, that's baseball for you, man. Ebbs and flows, I believe, 9 games over 500 at this point. So still.
Last thing before I get out of here, too, Peter.
Yep.
Talking about the deadline.
Yes.
It's very obvious that the Rays need some bullpen help. Got to go after some bullpen help.
Will they make the move? Will they invest the money?
They're going to have to come up with a package, because you know that the outfield and the infield is getting ready to be overcrowded with Hong-Sung Kim coming up, and a couple big guys coming up. We're not even talking about Palacios and DeLuca yet. Haven't even mentioned them still down there. So if I'm the Rays, I'm going after some bullpen pitching, because, man, that bullpen is getting taxed, and we literally almost blew another one. But before I go, the last thing, have you noticed something about this team? And I don't get it. Why do we struggle so bad against teams under 500 versus if we go this weekend against the Twins, who are above 500, not too far back in their division, we're probably going to play very well.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
They're a young team. I don't get it. I don't get it. They have some veterans on there, but maybe they believe their press clippings. Once again, maybe it's just the fact of that's baseball for you. But you got to get over it. You're exactly right. You got to beat those teams that you're supposed to beat. every night is different, but you got to beat those teams. You should take 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. You should take 2 out of 3 or sweep the Oakland A's. And for some reason, both of those teams have been the Achilles heel of this Tampa Bay Rays team.
Last thing, I promise.
Yes.
Can you believe that Guerrero Jr. took over Aranda in the All-Star game because the rosters got announced this evening at 7 o'clock. I'm really shocked that Aranda didn't make the All-Star game because
not shocking.
His numbers and stats are so much better.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Guerrero
It's a popularity contest. It's fan voting. It's
gotta go by stats. Gotta go by stats because obviously all these other teams have a larger fan base than we do. So like you got the Yankees, got all these teams out here, and every year they have a larger fan base, regardless of how many votes. But Aranda has way better stats. So
I agree.
I'm hoping MLB changes that down the road where we just go by stats and not by fan voting. But guys, keep up the good work. You guys are doing great things. I love the Sports Web. Louie, we got to talk about these ticket giveaways. I'm getting ready to, it's getting close to, we're already in July now. I told you guys we would talk about this about mid-July. Something on my heart for the Sports Web is, to bless the community and bring people to games. So guys, I will be getting with you both very soon about doing some ticket giveaways to some Buccaneer. Got our first Buccaneer. I believe the Bucs play the Titans.
The Titans preseason game. Yes, sir.
Yep. So I will be giving out my first 2. You know what I might do? I might give them to one of you guys. Peter, I think you deserve it, my man.
I appreciate you, man.
Peter. I won't be down there until the Patriots and Buccaneers, and I won't be down there.
I may have to give it to somebody. I may give it to somebody in my family to go because I may be covering. I most likely will be covering that game.
Oh, you will. I
with
forgot.
The J.
You
we'll see you.
You do such a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
By the
man.
way, if you're new to the Sports Web, this man is like, you are on it, my man. Especially when it comes to Buccaneer coverage. I swear to you, I'm going to come down and I'm going to crash the show, bro. No,
all right, man. I love you, brother.
But no, I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. And guys, please stay tuned to the Sports Web because I'm going to give these 2 hosts here 2 tickets to give away to a Buccaneers game. That's my promise to you guys. And we'll get this show popping every day, okay?
All right. Sounds good, Alex.
All right, man.
Brother.
That's awesome.
Right. Good stuff. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391.
I have the damn picture here, Peter, but for some reason it doesn't want to go. And
all right, let's go and argue with that. Just hard to surrender anyone off my list. Joshua says, does Mike put up another 1K? I definitely think there is a possibility he does that. How can he root against it or go against that thought process? Wow. Look at this. Look who this is. This is a blast from the past. Oh, this is Buck What You Heard right here.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Buck What You Heard, Mr. Gene Thomas. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. You're on with yours truly, along with Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Go, my friend.
Hey, I love it, man. You get great show.
Thank you.
I appreciated the last caller. And, I've been thinking about the Rays a lot. And you know what it kind of reminds me of? Do you remember how the Bucs were in 2012, 2013?
Oh,
and
yeah.
What the culture was in the locker room?
Yep.
And how they played. They always played down to opponents that they should have beaten.
Correct.
And, they came out somewhat effective against those certain opponents. I think it's the locker room. I think it's the culture. Right now, I mean, they've dealt with a lot. I mean, they don't have a literal home stadium. I'm not making excuses. It's just kind of an observation.
Yeah.
Just kind of basing it off of what I've seen, like, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I just wonder if it's a culture change of some sort is needed. If you bring in a veteran or somebody like that can kind of lead them out of where they are right now.
No, I mean, I think it would be nice to have a veteran come in here. They have some veterans. I mean, Brandon Lyle's a veteran. Yandy Diaz is a veteran, if you will. They have some players on this team. Taylor Walls is a veteran. It would be nice for them to go after maybe a bat or a bullpen arm that is a veteran presence to put in that clubhouse. But you're exactly right. I mean, I think it's Sometimes you just you believe your press clippings. You don't necessarily have a home. I don't understand how they can beat above 500 teams and then struggle versus below 500 teams. But that's
what I'm saying.
done.
I mean, when you're playing down, when you're playing down your competition, I mean that's a huge part of it. I remember the disappointment that 2015 was, 2016 was.
Yep.
It's just it's a lot of cultural. Once the culture changed, you can see you're looking at a totally different Bucs team that we're kind of spoiled by, considering what we've seen, over the past few years. So that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. I could be wrong here, but that's kind of what I see. I mean, it's got to come from within. They got to come together as a team and put it all together.
I agree. We were talking about tonight because we go through the rankings and stuff. Lavonte David, 96 in the top 100. Is that too low at this point? Should he be or too high? Should he be ranked a little bit lower in your opinion? And then Rondé Barber on his show has said that Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback. Now, we were just looking at the top 10 quarterbacks with his statistics the last 2 years, by the way, Gene Thomas. Baker Mayfield has better numbers than Patrick Mahomes. So,
yes,
is Rondé Barber correct? Is Baker Mayfield a top 10 quarterback? Yes or no?
Absolutely. I would put him up against any of the other quarterbacks. The Bucs do have a chance to win every time he sets foot on the field and he's healthy.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And going back to not Rondé Barber, but Lavonte David. One thing we had to keep in mind when Luke Kuechly was getting all the press, Lavonte David was putting up similar numbers, if not better numbers, than Luke Kuechly. And even today you hear about Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
But I think because of the team and the lack of coverage at that time that the Bucs were getting, Lavonte David really did not get his flowers. But I promise you, any offense in the NFC South that is, has faced him, they know what Lavonte David's all about, and they know that you better hold on to the ball because you could lose it. And he's just a rock solid player. First ballot Hall of Famer, just like Mike Evans.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And I don't know if you've been on social media or not, but that the Sports Web had Tristan Wirfs, Lavonte David, Antoine Winfield Jr., Kalijah Cansey, Elijah Roberts, Jalen McMillan, Brad Johnson a couple weeks ago. And I was interviewing them one-on-one. Did you see those interviews?
Yes, I did. You did an amazing job, but look at you. I mean, you interviewed Jake Paul. I mean, you're the Rolex.
You got a Rolex out of him.
I get a Rolex right there. Yeah, but to me,
flexing, Peter.
That was pretty. I had to flex. Well, you shut up, Louie. At this point, be quiet.
I'm still looking for these damn.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
I care, Peter. I care.
You care about this?
Oh no! We suck again.
Well, no, because we don't suck. Because we're pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I'm looking. I give up.
On a side note,
yes.
What did you think of did you watch the Jake Paul fight?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it.
I got through 5 rounds and I gave up.
You gave up. It wasn't a great fight.
I can't watch that stuff. That's so.
And this is I'm kind of leading into this. The WBA is ranking him where he can have a title shot?
Yes, he's going to get a title shot. Yes.
And this is kind of gone to MMA right here, just because of this. And it's unbelievable. I'm just scratching my head, and I just hope that another promoter. I hope he doesn't promote the fights, and he doesn't have one of those fake clauses in his or those contracts where you can't hit him or something like that. I just want him to fight somebody on even ground just to see how he does against a polished.
What's his build?
He's like 200. Jake Paul's
200?
Like yeah.
Oh yeah, because steroids.
I don't know if I'm not ready to say he did steroids, but I think he did go. I think he went into the gym and worked out.
Wasn't he like a cruiserweight? I think he was fighting a cruiserweight in his last fight.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see him if he really wants to fight. If he really thinks, and I know you got a Rolex out of him, Peter, and that's fine. I understand. Yeah. But here's my thing: like, if you're really serious about it, stop putting these stupid clauses in your contract fights. You got to stop doing that. For one, if you want people to take it serious, You know, somebody who's trained in boxing. It's one of the hardest sports. It's one of the loneliest sports. And those
science.
fighters,
It's actually a science.
Yeah, there is a sweet science to boxing. And just stop putting all the clauses into your contracts. Do a real training camp. And I want to see what he would look like against a guy like a Canelo, like a Triple G, because I think a guy like Triple G would eat him alive. Even him weighing at 200 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. You really want to get in there because right now, buddy, you're a big bloated fish in a small pond.
Well, I will say this about Jake Paul. I get it.
He's funny though. I'll give him that. He's
don't like his fights, but he has brought more press onto the boxing stage. More people are interested in boxing now because of that. Is he the best fighter you've ever seen? Of course, he'll say, even his manager, his trainer will say he needs to work on things, and they're trying to do that, and they're trying to have, better fighters and more polished fighters. But Canelo,
when you put the reins, on your opponent, when you put the reins on your opponent, you're not really seeing how good you really are.
Right.
He's still an unknown commodity as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that fight, Chavez Jr. did not let his hands go till the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
We don't know how that fight would have gone had he fought consistently the way he did those last 2 rounds. It's almost like they said, okay, the last 2 rounds you can do whatever.
Yeah,
but
was that part of the clause in the fight? That's what I'm talking about here. The limitations that somebody has. It's like the next thing is going to be like, well, if you want me to fight Canelo, you have to have your dominant hand tied behind your back for 3 rounds. Like, come on, dude. What are we in the playground?
I don't think there was any clause. I think it was a boring fight that was dominated by Jake Paul instead of with the last round where Chavez Jr. decides to make it a fight. But besides that, it was dominated by Jake Paul. It was a boring fight. This is what TJ Reeves said because he was covering. We got to get him on and get his thoughts on the Jake Paul fight. We need to get
him coming on before training. I think somewhere around we're gonna book something for training camp there.
There you go. We definitely got to do that. All right. So Gene, I'm gonna put you through a table because have you been watching wrestling?
Put you through a table.
And I got to tell you about my experience. I was in Oklahoma City. I'd gone down to the road. Oklahoma City,
right?
And on the way back,
did you see Janelle Sanab by chance doing that cowboy dance? She's all been doing all in the viral videos by chance. Did you see her paying her $6,000 to $8,000? By the way, anybody paying her $6,000 to $8,000 to do that stupid dance? You guys are dumb.
What?
Yeah, give me the money or throw it out in the street or something. I'll be there.
I'm gonna have to. Who
are we talking about?
So girl's name is Janelle Sanab or Sanab. I don't know. She's dancing in this cowboy video. She's doing the same moves over and over again. It's so repetitive and stupid.
So we got rained in. It was real bad. I guess a severe thunderstorm. So my flight got canceled. And as I'm sitting down, I'm kind of pissed off. I'm looking at my phone and I look over to my left and there's Mickie James.
Yes, I saw that. That's the picture you sent me.
Yeah. So we started talking and we were talking about like wrestling. We talked about wrestling for a good almost 2.5 hours.
Right.
Just kind of waiting. And finally they said, hey, we're canceling the flight. So she left. And the next morning, we're back at the airport and there she is. And we talked some more. And it's really the business is really interesting. Just hearing it firsthand, like from somebody like her. And I tell you, she's probably one of the most humble people I've ever met. She was just like, this is like real cool, just like a normal person, and not like, this is somebody that's won championships, plural. And she was really cool. So that was my most recent experience.
I could definitely see her doing Evolution too, because we talk Turnbuckle Talk coming up here. You could see her in that pay-per-view, right? Has she given you any inclination, if you will, that she's going to be involved in that pay-per-view of Evolution 2 for WWE?
She kind of hinted around about it because we were talking about the whole trash bag incident and she kind of like glossed over it. So I didn't get too deep into it. But I don't know, man. She said she's got a lot of irons in the fire.
All right. She's married to Nick Aldis too, by the way, right?
Yes.
You were. I saw the picture. You were trying. but she got Nick Aldis. He's gonna put you.
It was an innocent picture.
Yeah, he's gonna put you through a table. You keep it up there. Spirit fingers. I saw it. I saw you there,
Spirit
buddy.
fingers.
All right. What else?
You got spirit fingers?
Spirit fingers. Spirit fingers. These are spirit
So,
fingers. Yes.
Which training camp days are you going to be at the game?
I will tell you, I will be out there August 1st. I'm taking off. I'm going out there with Mom. I'm going out there with her old friend from school, Scott's. God, I cannot think of names tonight, man. Just her friend Scott.
That frozen in the cafe is getting to you. That's what it was.
It's probably what it is. I didn't have it today, jerk. That's probably what it was in the first
That's
place.
why I just said it's getting to you. You don't have one today.
Got that coffee routine going, man.
Marchant. We're going to be out with him.
Marchand.
Marchant. I think it's Marchant. That's how you say it. Marchant. Marchant.
Oh, Marchand.
Marchant. I guess. Is it Marchant?
Yeah.
We're going to be out there with him and his family. I'm going to finally meet him, and then I'm going to be out there with my uncle also. So uncle, mom, and his friend going out there on August 1st to see training camp.
Oh, you better wear like a cutoff.
What do you mean cutoff?
Yeah,
like a tank top or something, buddy. Show them guns, man, because it's gonna be hot.
Show the guns, yeah, right there. There you go.
Hey, you're not in Arizona. You don't know hot. I mean, you think you know hot, but you don't know hot.
Wait, whoa. Florida, listen, you guys got the dry heat over there. Okay, we get that,
dude. It's monsoon season right now, and the humidity gets like to 40%.
Oh my god!
And it's 112.
Oh
yeah, we got.
I'm in Massachusetts. Last week was terrible. Like you can't breathe. Like the heat. Like
you guys.
Well,
80 degrees to you guys is hot. So.
Yeah. Well,
no. I'm telling you, it was 106 degrees. They said it was supposed to be 98. It was 106. The day after that was 98. The day after that was 103.
Mm-hmm.
It like the Massachusetts weather is not kind.
Yeah,
like it could be.
Hard.
Yeah, like it's you like for someone I do construction, so I get to see all the beautiful seasons. Unfortunately, like you could be working, it'd be 98 degrees the next day. We've had snow in I believe late April. I want to say. Oh yeah, it's not fun.
Me and Peter will tell you that once you sat in the big sombrero on the metal bleachers.
Oh my god!
Hey, we had Foxborough Stadium, man. Foxborough before it was Gillette. We had metal bleachers over there, and my dad took me to one game over there, and I wasn't even a Patriots fan. I said, "Don't ever bring me to this god awful stadium." Imagine that little 12-year-old kid telling you that. It was terrible. I didn't even want to sit on the seat.
I'm telling you, Tampa Heat is nothing to play with.
How about you?
I like it. I've been out there a couple of years. Obviously living out there. See, for me, the heat doesn't bother me because I feel like when it's hot out there, it's hot. It's fine. Like I said, doing construction, I've been in the worst weather possible. I'd rather be hot than cold because, like I said, I've worked in -5 degrees before at 5:30 in the morning, pulling out heat blankets, pulling in glycol hoses. And that's the worst. That's when you start reevaluating your life. Like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? You stop praying for that 106-degree days. Praying.
You being in the big sombrero, that was
I bet it's hot
at all. That was hot,
dude. You have no idea. Exactly. You have no idea.
I'm telling you, it wouldn't bother me.
I'm talking no shade at all.
None.
That's fine. I'm good with that. I like the heat, man.
Well, you better not be a stranger, man. You better come on this show sometime, all right? I'm going to put you to a table, Gene.
Oh, I thought he was telling me, like, Peter, I'm here every week.
I promise to do better, man.
You better do better. I'm going to put you to a table. At first, if you guys don't know the history between me and this man, we started out together on his podcast, and we did some things together for the Spider's Web at the time, and of course, he's worked with me throughout the years, and we haven't seen him a part of this show, so we definitely need to make him a part of the show. And it's 2025, damn it! It's 50 seasons for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so you definitely better not be a stranger here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, my friend.
I will make it a habit, my friend.
Well, actually, before you go, real quick, let me ask you a quick question. You have time?
Yeah.
All right. So, it's a 2-part question. offense and defense. Two players. Who are you most excited about on offense? Who are you most excited about on defense outside of Mike and Baker and the guys? Just who do you think that's going to bring something, some juice, man? Some guy that's going to bring some juice. That's my best John Gruden accent.
You and the John Gruden.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Who do you
Yeah.
think's really going to cause some havoc on defense, and who do you think's going to really shine on offense?
I think Bucky Irving is definitely going to bring it. And I really believe that Rachaad White is going to have a good season this season.
Okay.
Contract, yeah.
I'm probably in the minority there, but I really believe that's going to be the case. Again, Vita Vea, my expectations for this guy are that he will improve from what we saw last year. And I want to see a linebacker step up. A linebacker that nobody's been talking about in the offseason. I want somebody to step up and surprise us, like a Servassier Dennis or somebody that can stay healthy throughout the season, because the best ability is availability. So
correct.
You want somebody that's going to be
Iowa
and be consistent.
I'll tell you right now what Lavonte is told. You learned on the interview. Anthony Walker Jr. there from Miami. He's high on him. In fact, he was doing a recruiting pitch. I asked him, what do you say to Jason Light about that? So he recruited him here. He's high on him. And then Servassier Dennis, Voss, he says, that's a guy that a lot of fans should be excited about. So we'll see. Yeah. I think that's the X factor.
One more person I got to throw him in there. And
sure.
I know I'm hopefully not on the hype train, but Shiloh Sanders. Really curious to see what he does. So
I'm pushing for him.
And Desmond Watson. We'll see both.
Definitely rooting for that guy.
Yeah.
Devon J. Thomas, man. If you guys don't know, I did an interview with that kid, rookie undrafted free agent for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I did a show with him last week. That kid, go check him out of Penn State. He's a dog, man. And he fits the Buccaneers locker room, the community, stopping his vehicle to pull a lady out of a burning car instead of pulling out a phone. Like his accolades at Penn State. He didn't get the big popular thing there because look at that defense. Look at the guys that Penn State has put out. He kind of fell in the shuffle. I'm telling you right now, watch out for Devon J. Thomas. I think he's going to make this team, and I think him and alongside with Vita Vea and that rotation with Desmond Watson too.
I know that Jason Light watches these shows. Shout out to Jason Light for everything he's done from the time he got here to where we are now.
Yep.
He's just night and day. What he's one of the best GMs the Bucs have ever had, and that's saying a lot for me because we've seen another Super Bowl run in the past, but just what he's been able to do and be consistent with now is it's very admirable.
Him and Howie Roseman of the Eagles, I think two of the best GMs in the NFL right now, hands down. Longevity, nobody's had longevity success than Jason Light. And if he is watching the show, you're welcome for me giving you the advice to pick Cody Mock in the second round. I'm just kidding. I doubt he even opened that message. But I messaged him and I said, hey man, if you're reading this, this was like weeks and weeks before the draft. And this is early on in the podcast, the Frozen Pirate podcast era. Boy, were those shows bad. I was vouching for this kid. I'm like him and Redman on the same line. Unfortunately, Jensen went down. But I messaged Jason and I said, listen, man, if Cody Mauch is there, if he's available, draft him in the second round. Please get him in. And I was out to eat with the wife at Fiesta's, a Mexican restaurant. I get my big margarita. All of a sudden, notification, Cody Mauch. I'm like, called it out loud. And everybody at the restaurant looking at me. I felt my girlfriend's just kind of like, what the hell? But yeah, I was excited. But if he's watching, you're welcome, Jason. You're welcome.
There you go.
While we're on the subject, Peter Blake has been totally exonerated here. Back in the day, it's been long going here.
Thank you.
Peter Blake said that Jason Light was going to take Johnny Manziel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you deserve this because you were spot on. All these years later, it comes out in an interview that, we were going to take him, but then we saw Mike Evans, and it totally changed everything up. So Peter Blake, you hit the nail on the head, and you just don't. You should you should give yourself a pat on the back for that one.
Pat on the back right there. There it is. And I was thinking about this
Give
the other
yourself
day
a self
'cause
high five, bud.
we were talking. I give you a self high five right in your
High five
face.
from a distance.
I'm going up the suck right there.
That's what I'll give you right there. I'll give you a Tom Brady.
That's
No,
what she said.
that's exactly right what she said. And listen, this goes all the way back to our late great co-host here, Mr. Sean the Sports Don. I wonder what he is thinking right now, because he said, "Ted, your source, you were wrong. It was not Johnny Manziel. It was going to be Mike Evans." And I said, "Listen, I'm telling you, I talked to somebody in the know a long time ago. I think you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to put the name out there, but I talked to him, and they swore up and down it was going to be Johnny football for the Bucs. It was not going to be Mike Evans. But again, you look at Jason Light's comments, and I think, it was not only Mike Evans and his dominance and, what the Bucs needed at the time, but it was also some of the character issues that a lot of NFL teams stayed away from. But Jason Light even said it. He said it himself. He was going to draft him. So I wonder what Sean would think right now. I wonder what Sean would be saying.
He's looking down on you, smiling about that one.
Yeah, you better be smiling about that one, because I was right, Sean the Sports Don. I was right. I didn't overcook the grits.
Table.
Yes, exactly. All right, brother. I love you here on the Sports Web, man. Don't be a stranger,
all
right?
brother.
All right, man.
You take it easy.
All right, sounds good, bro. All right, Gene Thomas there. Fuck what you heard. Love that guy.
Fuck
all
what
right,
you heard, baby.
Yes. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. All right, let's read the rest of these comments, and we will move on to what Bill Parcells had to say.
I was about to say, because you still got that, and we still got the blockbuster trade that we got to talk about. And then we got some turnbuckle
we were
talk.
supposed to have Leo on, and we didn't even have
this guy right here. 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours.
I got 2 hours right here.
Bullshit.
2 hours.
Oh no, we suck again. What?
There you go. That's what I think. As the roommates are screaming in the background for some reason, I have no idea why.
Let's get to the comments, Peter.
Let's get to the comments. Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast.
What do you hear? What do you say?
All right. Let's see.
If anybody's confused out there, there is no show tomorrow.
No show.
I got a hot date tomorrow, and I'm gonna take the wife. Well, let me rephrase that before she's like, hot date. Taking the wife on a hot date with the kid. Jurassic Park movies. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the popcorn.
F1 is coming out. F1 for the Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah, but I can't. I have not a toddler. I have a 7-year-old that loves dinosaurs now. So it's like,
dinosaurs.
I'm like a crackhead when it comes to the movie theater popcorn, man. You want to talk about high cholesterol? Peter, I'm at the stand. I'm the guy that, waiting behind, lathering up with butter and and I don't really drink soda. But I'll kind of indulge there, and I have to. And as much as I hate it, towards the end of the night, I get the peanut butter M&Ms. Are you a peanut butter M&M guy or regular M&M?
I love the peanut butter M&Ms. They are best.
People are freaking weirdos. You eat regular M&Ms, you're a weirdo. It's got to be peanut butter M&Ms. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that.
I got to eat chocolate.
No, I can't do that. Can't do that. Ranch or blue cheese? Ranch or blue cheese?
Why so serious?
That's a serious thing. Ranch or blue cheese?
Blue cheese.
All right, cool. I'll do ranch once in a while, but nah. Buffalo chicken subs.
Ranch on my salad that you trying to force me to eat the other night, which I did.
Yeah, you have to. You felt good about yourself, right?
I felt good about myself.
And you shouldn't be eating. You got to eat and give yourself a window 4 hours. That's it, and then bed. No more eating at 8 o'clock.
No, I can't
eat
at
8 o'clock. Yeah, you got to change your schedule around.
Well, I changed. I ate tonight. I had some chicken nuggets, not from McDonald's.
Hey.
Whoa. Real chicken in the air fryer. Very healthy.
Air fryer. Okay.
Yes. Healthy.
You got to make your own chicken nuggets. You got to get some ground chicken, make your own, season those bad Larrys up, man. I'm telling you.
Bro, I got to do a show here. I got to produce a show.
You got to meal prep it. Yeah.
Look
at the comments right now. I got the comments on fire right now with the popcorn, the blue cheese.
Lives. Air fryers save lives. It's not thick thighs to save lives. Air fryers. Air fryers in my house. All right, let's go to the comments.
Let's go.
By the way, this is what happened on Monday. Hello, Sam. Hey, take me off. No, it's hey Sam, how you doing? Click. Oh, hello Sam. Goodbye Sam. That was the kind of day I had. All right.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, that was the kind of day it was. I was screaming that all day long, and that everybody thinks I'm nuts.
I'm gonna prank call you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up on you too.
I'll call from different numbers.
Oh my God! Who the hell
I'll do
cares?
this. I'll do this right here.
Yeah, baby.
I'll do this right here.
F you,
F you,
F you, F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm gonna go have a Guinness.
Swear, I want to play that sound so much. All right.
Sure.
All right, we'll get out to the phone lines here. We'll get back to the comments in a moment.
Look at that. I got to take this down. This call the sports web because it's going nuts.
It is going nuts. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution. Your
I
second call.
I just called to ask one question.
What's up?
Louie, how many buckets of popcorn do you eat at a movie theater?
Oh, I'll get the large. I'll get the biggest one.
Yeah, but how do you refill it?
No, I can't do that. I can't even talk after that. My mouth is all.
I've never
hydrated.
refilled a popcorn. I don't think I've ever refilled it unless the movie was really boring.
I can't. There's no way.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. Okay?
Curtis is refilling popcorn.
I got 4 kids, man. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to refill it.
My oldest son will be 20 in July. Okay. And anytime we go to the theater, somebody is the designated popcorn guy because that popcorn doesn't even last through the opening credits of the movie. Okay.
You know, it's funny that you say that because one time I try to behave and I try to get like a decent size, like a decent person would do. I got like the normal size popcorn bag. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be all right. Next thing you know, the movie just started. Like 2 minutes into it, the bag was gone. I'm like, well, this is completely useless. Can't get up. You can't get up at that point. It just started.
You can't get up. Listen, I went to I did this one time. So I went out on a date with somebody. And that's hard to imagine right now. With my life
I'm going to say, when is the last time you went on a date?
We're gonna set you up on a dating app, Peter.
It's been a long time. I'm on the Facebook dating app. That's enough for me.
We're gonna get him a Tinder.
It's enough trash.
Let's get him a Tinder, Curtis. So I'm gonna message you. We're gonna get him started with that.
But yeah, I went out on a date with somebody. We went to go see Any Given Sunday. But the problem was,
holy shit! Whoa, Louie, hold on.
Any Given Sunday.
Before he finishes this story,
it's a long time ago.
What?
It was a long time ago. Well, it wasn't that. That wasn't the. It was at one date. It wasn't. I have more dates than that.
Okay, I just want to say
Any Given Sunday, we're talking like Jamie Foxx before P. Diddy poisoned him. That's a long time ago.
Shut up, P.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Hey man, he's getting out, dude. I shouldn't have said that. He might come after me now.
You said
he got away with it.
You said P. Diddy
he's
poisoned him.
He's gonna be standing in your front yard with a bucket of baby oil.
I know. What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy?
By the way,
talking about me, Playboy.
He was supposed to be the quarterback in that movie, and P. Diddy. He was the pick guy. He was the pick guy that was supposed to play. But at the time, the date, I went into the wrong movie theater. So I saw the end of the movie. I was like, this is the shortest movie of all time. I think, honey, we went into the wrong movie.
Oh my Jesus.
And then we went into the one. And so I got a chance to see like both versions of it. I got to see the end. I was like, damn, it was like the scene from Dumb and Dumber. Remember where they're driving and the guy goes, man, that John Denver's full of.
Oh my God!
They're going the wrong way. They're going to Nebraska because they think it's the Rocky Mountains, and it's not.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! But you know what? Yeah. Listen, the movie theater can be very fun, or it can be very boring, like Peter said.
Yes.
I mean, dude, my family, we load up our pockets with snacks before we go in because
that's what my girlfriend does. She not to cut you off, Curtis. She'll bring her purse. She has 6-inch from Subway. She has a couple of little bags of her Skinny Pop, and then she'll sneak like 2, like not Trulies, but like these high noon tequila ones. She'll sneak those 2 in there, and I'm just like, and then she goes to open it. All you hear is, and everybody just kind of looks around, and I'm like, yeah, nice. She's gonna get us kicked out of here.
Dude,
I don't blame her.
I will give you a movie theater story.
All right.
When I was married at the time, man, me and my wife went to go see Straight Outta Compton when it first came out.
That's 2015, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're in, she wants to go to the Dollar Tree.
What?
She goes to
decent movie, a great movie. That's a great
no, because Dr. Dre, the way he was portrayed in there, I don't know, man.
I think it was well done.
That was the one where he was like with Death Row, right? He was in Death Row.
It was a great introduction to O'Shea.
In here trying to work, man, and y'all are doing this stuff. Shut up, Dr. Dre. You weren't saying that to Suge Knight. Get out of here.
He may have. He may have.
No, he probably went in there and said, "Hey, man, we're trying to work in here."
What's more believable? Come on. What's more believable? Straight Outta Compton, or the Tupac movie with the guy who looks like Tupac? What was more believable in your opinion?
I didn't watch that.
Straight Outta Compton was better.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I like Straight Outta Compton. I like the beginning with Eazy-E, and then you seen them like booting in the door because that was everyday life. That's
terrible. Yeah, absolutely.
That's normal out there.
Right.
I couldn't live like that. I'd have a heart attack.
Hey, I lived that life for 15 years, so I'm gonna tell you guys.
God bless you.
That shit was, and you know what? I'm gonna say this. God, thank you for all the blessings. I've never been to prison, and I laid that lifestyle down after my children were born, and I've never turned around. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
anyway,
kids will put perspective in your life. I'll tell you that because when my son was born, a lot of things changed, and I told myself at the age of 30 I was gonna have my first kid, and I did have it. He was born 6 days after my birthday, and it really put things in perspective for me. And I was just like, all right, my life is no longer important. It's him. He comes first now over everything.
Peter's gonna have a baby at 60.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, hey, by the time you're 60, dude. By the time you're 60,
he's going to be like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro,
shooting up the club.
Like late 70s, having kids and stuff.
Yep, shooting up the club at 70. Hold on, baby. Hold on.
But listen. Anyway, we were.
Here's your Rolex reporter as he popped the Viagra at 70.
Oh my gosh! But we were in the movie theater, right? And before we went, she went to the Dollar Tree, and she's got these huge baggy sweatpants on. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing wearing those? And, she goes in the Dollar Tree. She comes out. I'm not paying attention. We get in there, and she's got M&Ms and Skittles
nice.
and Sour Patch Kids and white cheddar popcorn and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, where the hell did you get all this stuff from?
Yeah, but you know how much you would have paid for that at the theater?
And this is your wife?
Well, it was my wife, but anyway.
Well, she was the perfect one for you, Curtis. She knew exactly what you liked and what you wanted.
But hold on, Peter. I trumped her. You want to know how I trumped her?
How'd you trump her?
I had a giant cheesesteak from Jersey Mike's in my pocket.
Jesus, guys.
And so we're literally sitting. I will tell you where we were. We were in the Largo Theater, and we were sitting next to this couple. And he's like, man, you guys got a full picnic. I should have bought a key lime pie. Said, well, you would have been eating key lime pie because you ain't getting none of this sandwich.
Hey,
that's good.
Is it? Are you happy to see me, or is that a Philly cheesesteak in your pocket?
That's funny.
I mean, I will say this too. I've been watching the little slides the Bucs have been putting on their things today.
Yep.
And I seen Ernest Graham running today. I was like, man, I used to love that.
Yeah, man. Ernest Graham. I was watching that
guy.
Hey, yes. He was big time. He was like one of Gruden's last running backs here, huh?
Yeah, him and Thomas Davis, dude.
Wow.
Those were two
Cadillac Williams.
Yep.
Dude, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I was the biggest Cadillac Williams fan.
Was it Jones? Was it
Thomas Jones? Yeah, they acquired him.
Yep.
They acquired him from the Cardinals. I remember that. He ran hard for us.
Yep.
Dude, I was the biggest Cadillac Williams fan in the world. And when he came back from that ACL and he tore it again, bro, my heart was so broken.
Yeah. And he was running hard too. He was like the Cadillac of old, man. He just blew a head gasket.
So broken for that guy.
Yep.
And then I was like, man, we got to see Antonio Bryant today.
Yeah, he made some fantastic catches for
What
the
about a
Bucs, too.
one-handed catch on what is it, Monday Night Football versus the
Yeah.
Carolina
What about the sideline
Yeah.
catches he used to make with the two toes in? Boom.
Man.
Yeah.
And Bruce Gronkowski. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now you're going down a black hole there.
No. I was just like, dude, that's where we came from, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. Dude, Gruden. I just didn't know what to say about that guy, man.
One of the most inconsistent coaches of all time.
Yep. Agree.
And I don't want to say nothing bad because I want to get Gruden on this show. I want to talk my stuff to him.
Craziest, but you know what the craziest thing was though?
What's up?
If you really go back and you pay attention, how many division titles did Gruden win?
Well, you won. You
three?
won you won the NFC the NFC South the first year, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
That was the first year of the NFC South.
Okay, that is correct.
That was 2002, right?
Correct. You won 2005.
You lost it to the Panthers in 2003. You lost it to the Panthers again in 2004.
They won it like 07.
07, and you got bounced out in the first round by the eventual New York Giants, who dethroned Tom Brady and the perfect Patriots that year.
Yeah.
And you were 9-7, and then they started out 9-3 and got fired because they finished out 9-7.
Is it true that Monty Kiffin told the team there was a rumor, and then Monty Kiffin kind of came clean with that about him leaving to go coach football with his kid, and then that's when the team kind of fell apart?
Well, they gave up. They gave up over 200 yards versus the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. It was a disaster.
In the half, after the half.
I will never forget the game.
Was it Stewart?
D'Angelo Williams ran all over them.
For them. Yep.
Well, it wasn't any different than I think it was after Monty Kiffin. I think Vic and Michael Turner and somebody else ran for like 300 yards on the Bucs one time. And I was like, oh my god.
Well, that's when Rich McKay switched over and was like the GM, or he was a consultant for the Falcons.
Yeah, him and Gruden didn't get along, right?
Yep.
Yep.
It was a lot of, and that kind of, you could tell they didn't get along because, like I said, you don't get rid of Warren Sapp and John Lynch in the same year.
Yeah.
We need more money for offense, man.
I tell my fellow Bucs fans, if you really go back and you look at from the time we won that first Super Bowl to the time we won that 2020 Super Bowl, this team went through a lot of ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we've had some great players on this team. And we've had great players on this team that went to other teams and showed their greatness.
Like Garrett Blunt.
Yep.
I mean, you can say what you want about Aqib Talib, but I mean, the guy was who he was.
Yeah.
Aqib Talib, I don't know. The what?
The chain popper.
He was.
Hey, man. It's just
him and his family.
Mike
just
Crabtree
around with guns.
I mean, but you know, for me, like going back and watching those old seasons, I like to watch the history of our team.
I do too.
This team does have a great, rich history.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of bad seasons. There was.
Yeah.
But to watch your team go from being Peter hit the fart sound.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Good.
Yeah.
To watch your team go from that to being at the top. You can say what you want to say.
Yep.
And you know, Jason Light has brought so much consistency to this team. And you know, like we talked about on Monday night, even with Todd Bowles, these guys go out there and they play their ass off for time. You know what? When I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on. When Mike Evans and Chris Godwin went down last year, this team could have gave up.
Correct.
They could have just shut down.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't.
They did not.
Cade Otton stepped up. Jalen McMillan stepped up. Bucky was out there running hard. Rashard White was catching passes out of the backfield and going down the field. And you were like, hold, where was this guy at when we first drafted?
Yeah.
Like, this team is a team. And I'm going to love to watch this team this year. And I promise you guys, if this team stays healthy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC. Listen, I know Philly's going to be good. I know Washington is going to be good. But you know what? We don't know what's going to happen because guess what? All it takes is one injury to derail a whole.
Oh yeah,
good point.
That's
a
all.
fantastic point,
Curtis.
That's all.
Curtis, we appreciate the call, my friend. Great stuff as always, buddy. All right.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, good stuff there by Curtis.
You know who else has a rich history?
Who's that?
The Cleveland Browns, a rich history in losing.
That's right, losing.
Cleveland.
How about new? Oh no, we suck again.
All right,
they've always sucked.
Let's go. Let's go back.
That's what she said.
White creamsicle uniforms with a light orange helmet. Lamar says no orange pants, please. Lamar again, white on white only. Joshua says I like both. Got to run both now. Laugh out loud. Nothing personal, but this is football, not a fashion statement. We're not doing a catwalk. Well, the Bucs are releasing this as a tease.
Listen, you don't want them looking like a bunch of goofs and gimps out there on the field like they did when they had those digital alarm clock numbers.
Oh my God, there's a terrible wake me up from that nightmare.
Let's just go back to that.
Let's not. Oh no, I don't like that. Who the F was that? Dilford? No, that was Steve Spurrier. Okay, Peter Blake, says Jim Sutton. I like the white whipped creamsicle and not the white with the red letters. Lamar says Peter is right on the uniform. Joshua, oh, that's Steve. Laugh out loud. I had an old creamsicle Steve Young. Ben says, I'll take LVD any day. Joshua, Bucko Bruce is one of the best logos. David, don't get mad at me, but you all sound like my wife and her friends getting ready for girls' night. Laugh out loud on that note. I'm old school. I love that old school colors. Christopher Cole, thank you, David. Appreciate you as always.
Oh, yeah.
Like your wife. Christopher Cole on a different note. Congratulations to Sue Bird on her statue. Okay, cool. What's up, fellas? Says Jeremy Lowe right there. Close to football season, right around the corner right there. The Buccaneers podcast. We appreciate you there on the Bucs Life Network. David says, do y'all think Reddick being on the team, are we going to change our third down defense? Do you think we're finally going to stop after 3 years of third and one player, a soft zone defense with our corners 10 yards off the ball? David says also dropping our edge rushers into coverage. They're not going to do that. I think the reason why Todd Bowles did a lot of that, he even talked about this on the Pewter Report podcast, is they didn't think they didn't want to do much of that. But I think more than anything else, you had to do that because you didn't have the weapons, you didn't have the horses, you had a lot of injuries, and you were trying to create that pressure, if you will, which you weren't able to do. So you had to do it in different ways. And that's why you played zone. That's why you played back. That's why you did some different things. Todd Bowles has come out and said in this offseason, they want to rush 4, and that's the way you do it. And you do it with Hassan Reddick. He takes the pressure off of everybody else.
And TJ Watt, maybe.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. TJ Watt, this.
That's going off the suck right there.
I actually talked about that yesterday.
I would be shocked.
If you get TJ Watt, you know they're going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be shocked.
I would give up a third in Jamel Dean for TJ Watt.
That's not happening. I have to give up more than that to get TJ Watt, and then you're going to have to
not
pay.
For a 30-year-old. Not for a 30-year-old. I think you can take a pay cut here. I mean, outside of that, maybe a future second, maybe a future first. I don't know. Depends. But I mean, you got to. We ridiculed the LA Rams for that, but look, they got him a championship.
It did. I don't see it happening. I think they.
Well, let me ask you this question: Would you trade your first round pick and Jamel Dean in a third for a guaranteed Super Bowl? Because I mean,
yes.
This is a question that I asked.
Yes.
How many more Super Bowl Buck fans? How many more Super Bowls do you think you're going to see in your lifetime?
I would do that, but I do think that they like the young guys. They like David Walker and they like Elijah Roberts and they like Hassan Reddick and they have a lot of money that's going to be tied.
I don't think they're going to do it. It was the topic though.
Yeah, Mean Gene, says Jeremy Lowe right there. I told Peter this story before. In '93, we went to a Bucs game. I literally watched a lady cooking eggs on the seats. She was making egg sandwiches. There you go. That's what you had to do.
Unsanitary.
It was unsanitary, but likely it happened because the Bucs games were so bad back then. So you had to entertain yourself by making eggs, fried eggs.
Like you're in prison?
I agree with the caller and Jason GM. I'm glad that he's going to be around for some time. Absolutely. Lamar says, I told you it wasn't going to be It was going to be 2 hours. Eugene Thomas back on Facebook. Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
And I got this for you right here, Gene, seeing as you're welcome back on Facebook.
What is your name?
I told you.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Jabroni. I love movie popcorn as well. Louie, extra butter, please.
Absolutely.
You got to do blue cheese.
Lips get all chapped up because the salt too, because there's so much goddamn salt on the
Mountain Dew or like
Mountain Dew's a sperm killer, man.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a sperm killer, dude. Mountain Dew's not good for you.
I didn't know
I'm a
that.
Sprite guy. It's funny because when I go to because I watched this stand up with George Lopez.
Mountain Dew is a sperm killer.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's a proven fact.
Look
Look it up. Look it up.
Okay.
Not good for you. That Takis, all that stuff. That's why all these kids are all like gimped out. They're drinking all these damn drinks. The Jake Paul stuff. Is it Jake Paul? Logan Paul with the Prime.
Logan Paul with the Prime.
There's little kids going in the hospital because their stomachs because of that stuff.
Not good, man. That's not
No,
good.
dude. I don't even know how that makes it on there. But
All right. Dark chocolate M&Ms, please. Lamar says blue cheese. David, Louie, when we come down there's a dinosaur world off of I-4 where your kids can go dig for fossils. It's pretty cool. I used to take my girls there. David, thank you very much for that.
That's cool. I'm going to remember that because we're going down. So, yeah.
All right.
He's really big into dinosaurs right now.
We can anything from candy to beer on Devil's Lettuce.
Wow.
We heard the argument with Gruden and McKay started over work. Done. Wow.
Yeah, I believe that because it's work freaking done. When they got rid of work done, I was like, you sons of bad people.
What could have been, but then again, Michael Pittman, 124 rushing yards. He did struggle that year, but when they needed him the most in Super Bowl 36.
We got to go to that last comment.
All right, what we got?
I know what he said there. BASS.
Yeah.
The female dog with the butt.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew's of sperm killer. I got 5 daughters. Well, you got 5 daughters because it's I believe the woman has to lay on her back and you got to do the old-fashioned style. And that's how you get a daughter. From what I heard.
Sperm. Shut up. Be quiet.
Hey, man, you know what? Tomorrow's gonna be a short day at work. I'm so looking forward to that. I got two big giant bypass pipes to put in the water.
Enough of you piping things down here.
Piping, hey man.
We got to go back out to the phone lines. Go out to this guy.
Damn it, Jim! What the hell's the matter with you?
Let's go out to
Damn
Jim.
it, Jim.
Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast.
Boy.
All right, you guys having fun tonight?
You were definitely having fun tonight, yes, sir.
I'm a cherry Coke man when I go to the.
See, there's
Some
nothing.
people think it tastes like medicine or something.
There's nothing wrong with cherry.
It tastes like medicine.
The only problem is with cherry Coke is it does have a little bit of. For me, I got acid reflux, so I'm kind of worried about.
Bring some Alka-Seltzers with you, some Tums.
Tums.
I bring Tums, man. I get acid reflux sometimes, and that's bad, man. I eat a couple of those, and I'm fine. That's like a miracle.
It is a miracle drug.
Yeah,
but
that acid reflux is no good. I like Sprite. That's my go-to. So when I go to the drive-thrus, they're like, "Oh, what to drink?" Because I watched that stand-up from George Lopez, and it's always stuck with me. Yes, can I have a Sprite? And they're like, it's paused, and they're like, "What?" I said, "A Sprite."
Bro, I can't. I gotta read this comment. Hold on, Jim.
Sorry, Jim.
David says, "No, I got 5 daughters because I went deep and knocked the nuts." That's my story.
She's making boys like that.
Jesus.
Oh God.
Good for you, man. 5
Great
daughters,
job,
a house full of women.
Great
That's
job,
a lot.
David. Great job, David. Great job, man.
Good for
Love
you,
brother.
man.
Love you, bro. Okay, go ahead, Jim. What's on your mind tonight?
So y'all excited about the season, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm excited about the season. You tell me, what do you think about Lavonte David in that ranking at number 96? You think he should be ranked a little bit lower, if you will?
Lavonte David?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
70s. I said in the mid 70s.
All right.
Mid-70s, yeah.
What about Baker? What about Baker Mayfield? Do you think he's a top 10
Was he
quarterback?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'd put him right around 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
That is
Okay.
where they had him.
Okay.
Do you think he'll make it to the Super Bowl before what's the guy for the Bengals make it there? Joe Burrow makes
Joe
it there.
Burrow?
Yes.
I think he has a better chance of making it to the Super Bowl. He's got better talent around him. I mean, the Bengals blew. The Bengals didn't even address the defense. They invested a lot of money on the offense. I don't even know why you did that. You could have let T. Higgins walk. There's plenty of people in the draft that you could have drafted. There's a lot of things. Peter is cracking up laughing, dude. Did you smoke some devil's lettuce today? Did you eat an edible?
No devil's lettuce at this point. No schnozberries.
You ever smoked the devil's lettuce, Peter?
No, sir. We talked about this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right. We talked about this.
They kept T. Higgins and Chase.
They did. They kept them both. And we'll
with
see.
Joe Burrow. It's like $120 million a cap hit per year, I think.
They gotta sign the guy there for the defensive end.
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, they're going through it with that money.
And they didn't even address the offensive line, really. All the defense. They drafted that kid, and then he hasn't panned out. He still hasn't signed his rookie deal.
It's terrible.
Jesus Christ, man.
Terrible.
The Bengals are looking like the old Bengals.
The Bungles. The Bungles.
And they're supposed to, aren't they threatening to leave Cincinnati too? They're thinking about because they want a new stadium.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, look into that, buddy. That's been popping up.
Well, listen, they have Joe Burrow. He's highly talented. They got all these weapons on the outside, but where's their offensive line at?
Yeah, he's going to request a trade.
They're going to get him killed. He's going to get hurt eventually. So, yeah. All right, Jim. I appreciate the call, my friend. All right.
All right, y'all have a good night.
All right.
Finish the show out great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Love that. Jim from Ohio there.
Ohio. Oh, he knows all about.
Yeah.
He's right in the Bengal country.
For Lavonte, 22 days until training camp, correct, and between 4 to 6 for Baker. I like it. I'm running out of Gatorade. I know we got to do turnbuckle talk here in just a little bit.
You know what? I think we should kick off the turnbuckle talk because it's getting late, buddy.
I know it is getting late, but I want to go back to these Bill Parcells comments.
Screw that guy.
Well, yeah.
He screwed us.
He did. But it's still interesting to hear what he has to say. Of course, he was director of football operations for the Jets in 2000 when Bowles was hired to run New York secondary. First NFL coaching job, Bowles was also assistant to Parcells' staff in Dallas, and this is in care of Joe Bucs fan. He says, I have a high regard for Todd, who owns thoroughbred racehorses and has had a home in Saratoga. I know him very well personally. We're both from close to area of New Jersey, and I've known him since he was playing for Washington. This guy is smart. He knows what he's doing. He's doing it. They won 3 division titles in a row down there since he took over, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. He's done a good job. He's a good man. He really is. He also says about New York, with him coaching the Jets, it's been a sobering experience. You always learn from your first time around. Sometimes it doesn't end as well as you like overtimes, or other times it does. I can't emphasize this enough. Todd's very smart. It's clear that he's getting the job done in Tampa. He says also about Baker Mayfield, throwing 69 touchdown passes during his 2 years there in Tampa. He says he was very well thought of, obviously coming out of the 2018 draft. The scouting opinion on Mayfield was very high, and it turned out to be true most of the time. The situation you get into has a lot to do with it. Who is there to groom you has so much to do with a player's success level. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think it's like going into Walmart and you can win anywhere. It doesn't work like that. Bill Parcells, of course, turned down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice, left them at the altar. The famous words
Screw that guy.
House. Yeah, screw that. But interesting comments from Bill Parcells. Your thoughts, and then we'll move to turnbuckle talk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to make it short and sweet. He's going to vouch for Todd because there's a connection there. But I mean, you got to value his opinion. He's been in the NFL. He really, would we say he turned the Cowboys around? Not really. I mean, they didn't do anything special. I remember him with the Patriots. Like I said, Bill Parcells, I can respect his opinion on Todd, but I mean, I really again, I have a little grudge against him. He held us at the altar twice, like you said.
Right.
Nothing. I don't know. What do you think, Peter? What do you take out of that? Is there? It's just I'm not really a fan of his. I don't know.
Well, I get that, but it's interesting.
He's like, I get that.
No, I get it.
Sorry, I'm not enthused by him.
I'm not a fan of him either. I've always said, on this show, it's tough to talk about him, especially with what could have been, whether it was with Culverhouse or it was, after Tony Dungy's fired, he left them at the altar. Of course, it worked out for the Bucs in their favor, but at the time, it was shocking. And as a Bucs fan, it was tough to watch, but it happened. I think it's interesting, the comments he's saying, because again, a lot of the fan base still doesn't respect Todd Bowles. And here is a highly respected, I get it, he knows him, but a highly respected Hall of Fame coach that has nothing but great things to say about Todd Bowles. And then on top of it, has some great things to say about Baker Mayfield.
I went on a rant yesterday. If you guys watched the show yesterday, it's up on the YouTube, but the Frozen Pirate podcast. I went on a rant. I was cussing just because I don't like the fact that people, like, some of the things they sit there and say, like, how could you like call somebody a bitch? Like, oh, like, dude, it kind of just grinds my gears, because at the end of the day, these are human beings. Like, it's a sport. Like, your team didn't win, congratulations. You could be the Arizona Cardinals, you could be the Carolina Panthers, you could be, the Browns. You know what I'm saying? You could be a team, you could be a fan of a team like the Bengals with so much potential, and it's such a great quarterback, and just come up a little short every year.
Yeah.
We've won a title. We've won 2 titles in your lifetime, because a lot of the people that watch have seen both of those championships. Just, I don't like the lack of respect. I see segments on people's shows where they do that stuff, and it just doesn't work, man. Like, I don't like being disrespectful, especially to certain players. Like, don't ever call somebody out of their name. And it's just, at the end of the day, I was listening to something about, I forgot who the player was on the Rays. They had a bad game. And he's like, I have things set up on my thing, where they can't really message me. Somehow they find themselves on my wife's page, and they're saying things to my wife because I had a bad game. How pathetic is that?
I agree. I completely agree with that. It's fans sometimes they gotta put things in perspective. It's just a game. You don't know these things. You think you do, but you don't. So the stuff about Hogan turning out to be true, no, not necessarily. We're going to get into that in just a moment. I'm heading to work. I'm glad I got you guys for a little bit. Jim, yep, absolutely. Go Bucs. Absolutely.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell is the matter with you?
Go Bucs.
Wait up, Will Bork.
It is exciting. It is exciting.
How about them Bucs, baby?
How about him, Byron? Good stuff there. Going back to the Hogan stuff, just looking this up here. There was a tweet sent out. And of course,
hold on.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I want to get your comments on this real quickly.
Yes.
What do you think about that blockbuster trade between the Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers? What's the level like of that locker room in Pittsburgh?
I think this favors the Steelers more than it favors the Dolphins.
This is a window right here for them now, Peter.
This is, to me, and I know it's because Harry doesn't think they're going to be good with Aaron Rodgers. It's tough for me to rule against Mike Tomlin, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or not, because he won't put up.
I think something's going to happen, man. I'm telling you, I think we're just going to see something happen, and I think Rodgers is going to cost Tomlin the job.
I think the Steelers are scary.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think they're scary for the first couple of weeks until some egos get in the way.
I don't know. I don't
know. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
If there's a coach that can make players play for him and get the most out of them, and then also manage egos. Because to me, like, Mike Tomlin's like Phil Jackson, right? Like, he can manage those egos. That's what made him a great coach. And by no means am I comparing Jackson to Tomlin in the championships, because of course Jackson has won 11, 12 championships. But the way Tomlin handles players and people and relationships and gets the most out of them, come from dead. And if he got fired tomorrow, there would be 31 other teams that would be vying for his services.
Not 31, 26 maybe.
I think 31. I think 31 other teams.
Really? You think
Yes.
that the Chiefs would fire Andy Reid?
I think there would be a conversation. I think there would be a majority of teams that would look to hire Mike Tomlin as a coach for what he's been able to do consistently. I get it. He gets a bum rap because he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he's able to get the most out of his players. I look at the Aaron Rodgers situation, and it's like everything. Like everybody's like, Aaron Rodgers is done. He's washed up. Jalen Ramsey is done. He's washed up. Jonnu Smith, what's he going to do? And I feel like they're going to be surprisingly competitive in that division with Baltimore.
It definitely shook up the division. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
It definitely shook up the division.
I think it's a 3-team race. I think it's. I mean, Cleveland. Who the hell is their quarterback? Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't count Cleveland out just yet because they have a scary, scary defense. And remember, not too long ago, about 2 years out, not 2 years, not this year, but the following year before, they had one of the toughest, scariest defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't that AFC, that division right there, that AFC North is shaping out to be tough. And I'm going to be very, very intrigued to watch and pay attention to that division.
All right. I want to go out to this because we talk about the Hogan stuff. We'll move to Turnbuckle Talk.
Hogan knows best. Remember that show?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, and it definitely hurt his family, and that's for sure. There is an image shared across Hogan's official accounts, appeared to be taken down during the media tour last month. It was captioned, "Pumped and ready for the grand opening of Hulk Slam Sports Bar. Stay tuned for the big date." The post comes after weeks of silence from Hogan online, which has fueled speculation about his well-being. Concerns escalated after Hogan's former friend and controversial radio personality, Bubba the Love Sponge, claimed on his show that Hogan had recently undergone a heart procedure, was placed on a ventilator. Bubba further suggested Hogan was in a massive decline and cited chronic issues with Hogan's back and blood pressure, saying he was worried for the 70-year-old legend's life. In response, a representative for Hogan vehemently denied the claims in a statement to TMZ, insisting that the wrestling icon was not on his deathbed and has already resumed moving around. The rep described the situation as a case of routine medical checkups, characterizing Bubba's comments as exaggerated and misleading. Despite this, Bubba has continued to double down on his allegations. The new post from Hogan flexing and smiling appears to be an indirect rebuttal to the swirling rumors as an image and strength and resiliency from the real American himself. So again, it shows pumped and ready for a grand opening of Hogan's Slam Sports Bar. Stay tuned for the big date of him flexing. We don't know if he's not doing that now. Nobody knows, but this is a direct rebuttal of that. What do you think of this report that was put out there that could be erroneous? But Bubba's been in the business; he's been close to Hogan. Who do you believe at this point, Louie?
I don't know. Talk. I mean, I don't know because we've seen. How can I put this lightly? I haven't seen Hulk Hogan in a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's. I don't want to say it sounds Hollywood and maybe they're just doing this to promote the new place. I don't know, but I mean, that's pretty serious when you're saying, hey, this guy's on his deathbed, this and that. Mm-hmm. Like, that takes, especially with his platform, that takes a lot of guts and balls, man, to, in order for, like, that's like one of us, right? If we found out some stuff like that, and one of us coming, you're not going to talk about that and like 100% go in on that unless you're 100% like in the know. So I don't know. I really hope maybe he found out something and maybe somebody's giving him some bad information. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But then again, Hulk Hogan's how old? So any procedure he has is probably going to take him a little bit to kind of recover from. He's not his young spring chicken anymore. It's, what is the guy, almost 70?
70 years old, yeah.
Yeah,
70.
Look at Ric Flair. Look at Ric Flair. How's he doing in Tampa?
Woof. Too many times we've seen a lot. We've heard a lot about him.
Have you ever seen him?
I met him.
I've never met him.
I met him. He's
quite the guy. Why you say that?
Because when I met him, he was when I met him, he was completely out of it. Like he was trashed.
Really? How bad?
Like really bad. I could
slurring the words like he needed an Uber home.
I could barely understand him.
Like,
I didn't even try to get him on my show.
Give me like an impersonation.
I can't. It was just so bad. Took a picture. It was bad. It's terrible.
Really? You never posted the picture?
I posted the picture. Yeah,
oh,
I got the picture.
Yeah. He was trashed.
He was trash. Yeah, he was
like
still
white girl wasted.
White girl wasted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Posted his Rolex up with him. Yep.
Wow.
Let's see here. I was disappointed they took the belt off of Fatu. Yeah, I didn't understand that either. But
I like that. He doesn't look right with the U.S. title.
I think it's the guy you push. I don't know why you're taking the belt off of him.
No, I don't like the U.S. title on him. I think he deserves like the IC title. I think that's what you got to. You got to get. So this is probably going to be a long feud with him and Solo. Depending on who gets. I will say this though, Peter.
Do you care about this? Do you care about this feud?
Yeah, I'd like to see where this goes long term. I think this was a match they needed to make at WrestleMania. So it never happened, but I'm curious to see where this goes. I think this should go all the way up until SummerSlam. They brought Haklo or whatever his name is, Tonga and Tonga Lo's brother into the mix. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think we're just moments away from Umaga's kid there to what was it? Something Fatu. No, I don't know. I don't know all their names. But Umaga's son there, I think he's only months or a year away from joining the mix, maybe months. I don't know. But yeah, I am interested in this. I really like Jacob Fatu. I like him a lot.
Well, I like him a lot too, and I think there's a future there with him, and it'll be
athletic too for a big man.
Yeah, very. Jeff Jarrett had some comments about Hogan, and they weren't too great. Jarrett says, "Well, Hulk Hogan had creative control, folks. It's just a bunch of the manipulation the guy did to Dixie Carter and Dixie. Look, she has to take full responsibility. She didn't know what she was signing up for." But the results speak for themselves. Yes, he put himself on every show. It's a bunch of crap. If you say anything different, he had creative control. He would be on the shows when he wanted to be on the shows. End of story. Jarrett has privately or previously criticized Hogan's lack of understanding of TNA's identity, especially when it came to removing the six-sided ring, a change that symbolized a larger shift away from what made the company unique at the time. I never understood, by the way, the six-sided ring.
AJ Styles didn't like that six-sided ring. He said he thought it would made it different, but then he said when he took a bump on the four-sided ring again, he was like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah, I never understood that. I didn't know what the mystique of that was. I know it was their thing at the time. I know what the problem was. Like they were trying to redo him and Bischoff were trying to redo the NWO again and the older guys and then the new guy. Like it's just the same storyline.
They had a Biss in a suit.
You can't do it. You couldn't do it. And
it's
then
a cheese bob. You like that? It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was not good. It was, I watched it. I go back and watch it. Like there was star power. I mean, they
did the main event Mafia. That was dumb.
They had main event Mafia. They had Fortune with Ric Flair because everybody got injured in the main event Mafia, so they all had to join up with AJ Styles.
Aces and eights. Remember that?
Aces and eights. Yeah.
Aces and eights. Oh my God.
Yep. It was a weird time in TNA, so a lot of that was definitely Hogan's fault.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, the champion, right? They did the whole turn.
Stupid title.
And then the stupid
something you buy at something you can buy at Toys R Us.
And then he did the match with Sting and he couldn't even stand up.
He was doped up, man. He was like
so embarrassing.
What's going on?
So
what are we doing? Yeah, it was bad.
What are we doing?
How was Night of Champions for you, man? How'd you like it?
I watched some of it. I mean, I saw that. I thought of course, the highlight was, Cena versus CM Punk.
Punky.
Yeah. Punk. Did you like that?
It was all right. It wasn't bad. Seth Rollins screws Punk, which is the right call, in my opinion. I like that because, like I said, CM Punk doesn't need the title. at all. So I like Rollins kind of getting in the mix. I like the fact that he was like, "What are you doing? What the hell are you doing, man?" He goes, "You're lucky I came down here. You were dead 5 minutes ago." He goes, "Yeah, I'm alive now." Did you see that? Did you catch that?
I did catch that. Yes,
that was funny. For me, you know what match I really liked?
I tell you what, another
thing
thing it confirms for me what I talked about here a week ago, and we need to make a reel of this. On that Saturday night main event, book it down, okay? Put it down. Goldberg goes over Gunther.
You're gonna get me started with this?
And Seth comes out with the Money in the Bank. I think that's possible.
Yeah, but what do they do at Gunther now? Like, that's 2 times.
I mean, they had didn't they have
I don't see it.
push him? Didn't they have him and Seth get into it? I mean, and then they nearly did it. He nearly came out and cashed in the Money in the Bank.
What if he cashes the Money in the Bank while both of Gunther and Goldberg are down? I think that's the way you got to do it.
Don't do it.
You
No.
can't have Goldberg go over, dude. You can't. At
gonna-
that point, Gunther better just go to AEW because it ain't gonna work for him.
That's what you're gonna do.
WWE.
That's exactly what you're going to do. I could see it happening. I could see
How
this.
did you what was your take? Because I think a good match of the night, and I think people know where I'm going to go with this, is that Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross match. Did you watch that?
I did not get a chance to watch it. No.
Hey, my God!
I didn't get. You got to give me the update on it because I didn't get a chance to see it.
I'm not going to tell you nothing. You're going to have to go watch it. It was a good match. It was a good match. You got to go watch it. That was a very good match. Those two put on a good match. Did you see an appearance? I was actually wrong. Well, I don't know, man, because
Who won the Karrion Kross? Who won the Karrion Kross? Did Karrion Kross
Sami
go over?
Zayn. No, Sami Zayn. I told you,
I don't understand that. I do
but
not.
Karrion Kross beat the dog piss out of him on Monday Night Raw.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's a slow build at this point.
Yes. Aleister Black made an appearance. Did you see that?
I did not.
I was
see that.
shocked.
I did
He
not
kicked
see
Ron Killens' head off.
Wow. Because they were going back and forth, and I know
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest was trying to get into the middle of that and say, "No, this is not the guy. This is not." And then
he kicked his head right off. I was surprised to see him there in Saudi Arabia because I don't think he's
how about
tattoos, but he was covered up.
Yeah.
Hey, times are changing, man. That's a good thing. You know,
Yep.
You should be able to express the way you feel. Just don't push your propaganda down my throat.
There you go.
So
the Night of Champions now in the rear view. There's an update ahead of the relationship between WWE and Saudi Arabia. Having spoken to sources and putting Night of Champions together, Fightful Select reports that work will begin in the next few weeks for the next year's Royal Rumble, which is currently set to take place in January.
Rida.
It's not Rida. It's I think it was Rideau. Is it Rideau?
Rideau? I don't know. Somebody in the comments.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Night of Champions will be the one and only WWE premium live event to take place in Saudi Arabia this year. But 2026 is a slightly busier year for this working relationship. Per Fightful report, there are set to be 3 WWE PLEs taking place in the kingdom next year. As well as the Royal Rumble 2026 will see Saudi Arabia host 2 further PLEs that have yet to be named or given set dates. That said, these events are tentatively planned for May and November of next year.
You want to go, Peter?
To Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
It'd be an experience. I mean, do we like
Hell
this?
no, I'm not going.
Do you like this? Do you like with them being in Saudi Arabia? Does it take away from the U.S. states? What's your?
It seems like all the premium live events, which I call pay-per-views. Sorry, I'm still from the 90s. It seems like all the live events are pretty much moving outside the U.S. And I could understand why, because you have more hostile crowds. You have more passion and enthusiasm from those crowds in Europe and Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, like I said, it's I I love the crowds on when they're on those European tours. They're amazing. They make the show. They do. They make the show. Like that tour that they did last year. That was insane. Jey Uso's intro was out of this world.
They sell out. They got a hot
Speaking
crowd.
of that, they're actually coming right up the street from me, 15 minutes away for Monday Night Raw Monday. I'm debating if I should get tickets and go.
You probably should. Listen, they also said when thinking of November in WWE, because we talked about the dates, they're May and November. Historically, this meant Survivor Series, which is an event that's taken place in November every year since its inception back in 1987. More recently, WWE has scheduled Survivor Series to fall on Thanksgiving weekend. Upon Fightful reaching out to WWE sources, they were told that November PLE in Saudi Arabia either wouldn't be Survivor Series, or if it was, it wouldn't take place on Thanksgiving weekend.
I was about to say, I'm sure that's going to go over well with the talent.
Meaning talent won't have to travel overseas during a period where most would usually be spending time with the families and friends. This is not Vince McMahon. This is Triple H. So
It's not Triple H. It's TKO.
But I highly doubt in this day and age they're going to have wrestlers travel overseas during Thanksgiving weekend.
Would you do it?
They're going to pay me?
Yeah, would you do it?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't.
Pay me. If you're going to pay me, I'll get my family to understand or come with me and let's do it.
Divorce. Half.
We got to pay bills, sweetheart.
Yeah,
we got to
true.
we got to pay bills. How we pay bills? We got to work.
I wouldn't want to spend Saudi Arabia. I wouldn't want to do that on Thanksgiving.
Hey, listen, if they're going to pay you big time money,
I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
What's Christmas like down there?
I have no idea, bro. I have no idea what any of that.
To me, that's weird with like palm trees and Christmas lights. I know we're kind of going in a different direction here, but I've always pondered that.
Like palm trees from Florida?
Yeah, with Christmas lights. Like, what's that like?
Usually it's usually hot or warm. It's not hot, but it's there's no snow.
See,
I mean,
we got snow. It looks like Christmas.
Looks like Christmas. Doesn't look like Christmas down here.
Because me and my wife thought about, like, oh, we should spend the Christmas down in Tampa or something, down in Florida. Yeah. It would just be weird.
Yeah, it's different. If you're used to the snow, it's definitely different. Saudi Arabia, I have no idea what Christmas is. I don't even know if I don't think they celebrate Christmas there.
I don't think so, but I don't think they celebrate Christmas.
All right.
I don't think they believe in Santa Claus.
I don't think they believe in a lot of things, right?
I don't know. I'm not gonna judge, just in case. No comment here.
None of the comments.
I'm just surprised. No, I'm all set. I'm just surprised that they allowed Aleister Black out there. I really don't get. I'm shocked. That's strange.
It is weird. All right, let's move on. One of the most unexpected moments in Night of Champions premium live event reportedly garnered a big reaction backstage at the event. At one point during the WWE Championship main between John Cena and CM Punk, the referee was knocked out, which led to veteran official Charles Robinson, Little Nate, sprinting down the aisle en route to the ring. However, just as he was about to hit the ring, Cena came running in from off screen and knocked Robinson down with a stiff shoulder tackle. According to Fightful Select, Jake Atkins, those who were watching backstage broke out into a huge laughter when Robinson took the bump. Fightful added that Robinson was doing fine after the spot and didn't suffer an injury of any kind. Robinson running to the ring was a callback to one of his most famous gifts in pro wrestling, but Cena intervening added the element of surprise. That moment was just one aspect of the match that devolved into chaos with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, Penta all getting involved. In the end, Cena took advantage of Rollins hitting Punk with the Money in the Bank briefcase by pinning him to retain the WWE title. It was everything as advertised. It was highly entertaining. That
you like this Cena match?
I loved it. I was well done. Still, the Cena stuff to me is still flat, but I love the match. Everyone is saying that Jay needs to go back to NXT for some more experience.
Yes. I don't know what kind of makeup she was wearing, but this up here, from here to here, was a different color from her mouth to her neck.
Uh-oh.
I don't know who the hell did her makeup. You guys get a chance, go back and look at that. But yeah, I agree with that. Jade Cargill, I had high hopes for her, but I thought she was going to start in NXT. She needs to go to NXT because she sucks on the mic.
I think she's going to be the queen of the ring. Just knowing, trying to figure this out. I think it's going to be her.
She is the queen of the ring. She won.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the queen. I think she's
the ring. Yeah, she's the queen of the ring. What am I saying? Yeah. She's queen of the ring. Yeah.
It's just she sucks. Oops.
Well,
it's not good, Peter. They didn't like a woman like that is more like gives me like Goldberg vibes, and I think she should have went down to NXT and she should have just ran through that talent in NXT, and then getting her more time. A lot of she looked good in AEW because her matches were Goldberg like very short, very sweet, and WWE probably looked at that and was like, oh yeah, she's great. They're kind of underutilizing her.
She's got the look. She doesn't necessarily, she's not great on the mic. She needs to improve on that. She needs to improve in her wrestling ability sometimes. It's not great either. It's raw. She's very raw, but she's got the look.
She needs to go toe-to-toe on the mic with somebody who can absolutely verbally destroy her. Because usually that happened to Roman Reigns, and look at him now.
Sucker and succotash. Yeah. Well, he doesn't really say much. You know what his thing was? They didn't have these scripted, nonsensical promos like the suckering, succotash, and all this other stuff.
That was terrible.
He doesn't really say that much, man. I mean, when he does, he just says it from the heart,
Well, he's had some really, but think about it, Peter. He's had some really good, like when him and Seth Rollins were in the ring and he was just sitting at the chair, he's like, us.
Yeah.
Us. Like that was fantastic, that promo that he dropped on him.
Him and Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, that was classic stuff.
Classic stuff.
Classic.
And he did good. Because why? John Cena verbally assaulted him on a mic.
It's fair. John Cena,
what I'm saying?
verbally assaults a lot of people.
He did with The Rock.
And by the way, CM Punk, that was great too.
He didn't write that. Somebody wrote that rap for him.
It was great.
It was good though.
It
was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good though.
Get a chance. So, all right. This is what Tommy Dreamer of Busted Open Radio had to say about John Cena's heel turn. I still don't think the heel turn has worked because they just cheer for him, but has given him different opponents. He's going out there doing his best, and it's you, the fan, that continues to cheer for him. I know Dave LaGreca has a problem with it. I don't. Or Dave LaGreca. Is it Greca? If there was someone just coming up, if it was Austin Theory, not that they're just coming up, and or Grayson Waller doing the same thing John Cena was doing, they're probably the biggest heels in the business. But because it's John Cena, they are reacting that way. In his heel run, Cena's notably faced Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, CM Punk, all who are top baby faces in WWE. And still, the WWE universe has extended Cena much support, even in segments matches, pitting him directly against them. According to Dreamer, one of the things hindering Cena from maximizing his heel status is his inability to truly make good on his promise of ruining wrestling. If Dreamer were in Cena's position, the lines between kayfabe and reality, particularly by staying in character in public and on social media. Thank you. Right there. There it is. As I just hit the Lavonte David sign. Sorry about that, Lavonte. Yeah. He said staying in character for public and social media, given Cena's work with WWE and other projects. However, Dreamer doesn't believe the 17-time champion has been able to fully immerse himself as a role as a bad guy. That's been my whole thing. It's the coming out. It's The Rock. It's The Rock starting it out and being Dwayne Johnson and being out of character and then being a part of it. And Cena, I'm going to take your soul, and then I'm going to ruin wrestling. And then it's just he's getting cheered, and it's just
there's no more WrestleManias, right? For him,
there's no different music. There's no.
I'm okay with the music
element. I want to see something different. I want to see something
what
like.
Do you want to see?
I want to see like The Rock. Like The Rock changes music. I want to see John Cena. Why not?
I think.
Why not? Why have they dropped the ball on this?
I don't think they dropped the ball. I think Cena doesn't know how to be a heel.
Well, that's the risk of this, doing this so late in his career. I mean, and again, this is the reason why The Rock was so needed in the first place, because he's going to be the one that's going to be able to steer him to that. The Rock did it perfectly. He went
I don't
from
think
The Rock to this loved face to the final boss.
You know why it doesn't work, Peter? Because the route that they took with John. So let's put our writers' caps on. How's that?
Yep.
So look, if I'm writing this stuff out, I'm not gonna have John. I'm not gonna say, "Hey, John, listen. Don't go out there and try to force feed that you're a bad guy." Right? Because there's already people that say you suck, you can't wrestle. Let's execute that. How can we execute that? All right. I think it's time you just how do I put this? You have to play to his strong suits, right? He's very good at rap battling and all that stuff and insulting the crowd.
Yep.
I like that. Doing things out of the like they have it right with him cheating throughout the matches.
Sure.
But I mean, I want to see some ruthless aggression.
Thank you. That's what I want to see. That's the John Cena. I want to see word life. I want to see thugonomics. I'm not saying
I say keep the song. Keep what you're wearing. It's fine. It's just a different type of version. I want to see a more disrespectful version. Like I would tell John, all right, it's time to be disrespectful. What you did to Roman Reigns, you got to stop doing that to everybody else. And unfortunately, if it hurts their character, unfortunately, that's part of the business. You get what I'm saying? Speaking of that, Austin Theory, they've dropped the ball on that guy. I can't stand that kid. I really can't. He could be one of the top heels in the company.
Could be.
He's got the physique. He's got the talent.
Yep.
He's cocky, arrogant little prick, if I can say that.
Sure.
Let him play to that. They're not Peter. They can't pump out heels anymore. That's the problem. That's even the Seth Rollins, to me, that whole situation with Seth Rollins, right?
He's a heel. He's definitely a heel.
He's a heel, but he's just annoying. He's just like his voice is starting to get to me.
He's a different heel. I get it.
Yeah. I'm not big on it. Like honestly, I'm sorry to say, but I'd kind of like to see Seth Rollins take like a 6-month hiatus. I'm so over him. I really am. I am so over him. Even this faction, it's okay. But what are you really doing for Bronson Reed?
He's associated with it. What are you doing with Braun Breaker? I mean, to me, Braun Breaker is the guy that you're trying to build around. This is the reason why you have the group in the first place, because as we know, eventually Rollins is going to turn on Breaker.
I think they made a big mistake by putting Paul with Seth Rollins. I think Paul Heyman. No, they did because it don't work. It's odd. I don't see Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. I don't. I see Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, because I've been saying that for a long time. I swear to you. I've been saying that Roman Reigns should be a Samoan badass. They turned him into a Samoan badass. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman does not make sense to me. It really doesn't. I knew it was going to happen. That's why I called it that day when we were doing the pre-show and stuff like that. But I think Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker was the way to go.
I think eventually they're going to go that way.
I don't know. I just think this whole Seth Rollins thing.
They're going to go that way. It's setting it up.
It's just, you know what it is? There's too much collateral damage with the Seth Rollins thing.
Yeah.
Penta, Alistair. Like, I'm sorry, you made Alistair look weak when he took the spear. You have to protect. When you have a guy coming in like that, especially like Penta, you have guys like this coming in, you have to kind of protect those guys, Peter. You can't be doing that stuff like that because you didn't capitalize on that. So, in all reality, if all those guys got into a real fist fight, I think Alistair Black, Tommy End, whatever his name is, would kick the head off every single one of them because he's a real fighter. You made that guy look weak. Everybody knows he's a real fighter.
Right. You
have to build guys like that. And that's why I say they're so bad at pumping out heels. So when I see a guy like Alistair Black now kicking Ron Killings' head off, those two are not going to mesh well because that makes no sense. You had Ron Killings. He should have turned heel. You had the opportunity right there when he was cutting his hair off. They didn't capitalize on that. Same thing with Alistair. You brought him back. The crowd was happy. Alistair got his moment. Welcome back. Welcome back. You should have had him doing bad things right off the rip to establish him as a heel, and you keep Braun Breaker and that faction away. That's why I say this faction is not good. It's I don't find it entertaining. It's hurting potential stars, in my opinion, because they're not booking it right. And this is not the faction. You got to go with younger guys. Braun Breaker should be a Paul Heyman guy on his own. Bronson Reed should be in a tag team with somebody. Seth Rollins needs to go away for 6 months.
Yeah, but he's not going to go away because Seth Rollins is the guy right now, and this is how they're building it. And he's the top heel. He's the nuclear heel, whether you like it or not.
I get it, but I'm not digging it.
I think the vehicle is that you're building these young stars and a Braun Breaker and a Bronson Reed because you're putting them in this evolution type of where you had Triple H and then you had Ric Flair, right?
I don't see that.
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think that's what
ain't working though. You think it's working? It ain't working.
I can see it. Remains to be seen for me.
It's just not working. It's not working. I'm sorry. Like, think about it. Penta, right? Phenomenal talent. You know, what's that about? Why is he not getting pushed? Like, this is, I don't know.
He's getting pushed because he's in this feud.
Yeah, but he's getting buried every time.
Yeah, but there's a payoff to this.
I don't know. I think he's getting buried too much. You know what I would do with Penta? Send him down to AAA. Listen to me, Peter. Listen to me. A guy like that, Penta. You got to send him down to AAA. You have to have them, like, not send him full time. I'm saying let him compete down there, win that the highest prestige title to help bring prestigeness to that title and defend it on Raw. Kind of like what they're doing with TNA, with TNA Championship. You get what I'm saying? Because now he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. WWE, if you're watching this, please hire me. I can help you big time. AEW.
Somebody agrees with you. Tristan, you're one of your fans here. Damn, I agree with Louie. But if Killing's made a heel turn and flipped a faction, they would have to give him a strap. Which, by the way, Tristan, it's a great comment. If you're going to turn him
Ron Killings doesn't need a title.
I don't think he needs. Yes, he does. He needs a title run. He should have had it. Listen, the way they.
Oh yeah, he should have had a title run, but now it's
run against John Cena.
Yeah, but it's going to be the equivalent of Jey Uso's title run.
Still,
it was cool for the moment. It's cool for the moment. I'm talking long term.
Killings has paid his dues. Killing is so over with the crowd. He's so good on the mic. I don't understand why they've underused him. Besides being,
what Killings would have been good with? Honestly, if you want to build a faction like Seth Rollins has, that's where you go in that situation. A guy like that. You want to know why? Because you don't need to waste putting a title. That WWE Championship, I'm sorry, Peter, is meant for the younger talent. It is. It's meant for a Braun Breaker to sit there and defend. Because remember, Shawn Michaels, you want to know why WWE was so successful back then? Because guys like Shawn Michaels, they were young, and guys like Bret Hart were young, and they carried those titles.
They were forced to do that. They were forced to do that because
now
they
forced these guys to do it. Because there's so much talent, Peter. It's bloated. Again, WWE is bloated again. This Austin Theory, guys like that get lost in the mix now. I think he could be a great WWE champion. You want to know why? That's your MJF. That's your MJF.
It probably is.
You're not utilizing him. Again, put our thinking caps on here. We're writers. If what would you do with Austin Theory? How would you present that guy?
It's confusing because at first he was again a nuclear heel, and he was getting over, and he was involved with The Rock at first, and then The Rock turns heel, so that goes by the wayside, and then he's with this Grayson Waller guy, and they're going to set up go against each other, right? And then well,
I'm asking you, Peter, what would you do with him?
I think right now it's stagnant, but you're right. He should be pushed, but
he should be the biggest prick in the company right now.
The problem is the biggest prick in the company right now is Seth Rollins. He's the biggest guy. That's the guy you're building around. You're not.
Let me tell you. Yeah, I get it, but here's my take, Peter. I think this is how we establish Seth Rollins is established. Why not have a guy like Austin Theory build him up? I would tell Austin Theory, hey, listen, this is the way we're gonna do things. This is how things are gonna work for you. You're a narcissistic, egotistical maniac, not like a psychopath, but you're a narcissistic. Don't take accountability for anything you do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're gonna do. Play the victim, point the fingers at people on why you do certain things, right?
Yeah.
And just be the biggest prick you can be. Be so into yourself that you look like that you make MJF look like a PG version.
There you go. You could have paired Penta, Braun, and all of the one-off talents into a faction. Each guy break off with the momentum, just like The Rock did with the Nation. Could definitely do that, but I think that's what they're trying to do with this faction at this point.
I get it. I think
I know you don't like it, and I don't like it. I don't even know what the name of the faction is, but I think they're trying to do. It's
a bunch of bullies, dude. You know what it is? I don't buy it because again, going back to the Aleister Black thing. So you mean to tell me this is where it doesn't make sense? So Braun Breaker speared Aleister Black, right?
Yes.
In all reality, I think Aleister Black could really be his what in real life, but I'm just saying.
But the point is, they're trying to push Braun Breaker.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, it makes no sense because you have him spear the hell out of Aleister, right? And he gets away with it, but yet Ron Killings, hey, why are you always in my matches? It makes no sense. I think the money match would have been, hey, let's push this Aleister and Braun Breaker thing. Now Aleister can take a loss, or Braun Breaker can take a loss, because those two would have an excellent match. And then one of those two guys you elevate to the WWE Championship, in my opinion.
I think what they're trying to do, though, is they're trying to have a side confrontation, and then you get back to that. You don't want to give everything away so fast.
Yeah, I know, but like right now, I think Ron Killings doesn't need Aleister, and Aleister doesn't need Ron Killings. I think Ron Killings had it going with cutting his hair, and I think the focus should have been on more like the John Cena thing, and then just coming up a little bit short, and then having John continuously to go over. Or you could have just went the heel route, because he started to when he was doing that promo. You people think I'm a joke. They should have continued that, and he should have went on the ruthless, like, remember him in TNA and early on in WWE? He was talented. He should have went on I would have had him.
I think they're trying to do that with him and Aleister Black, and Aleister Black is going to be the guy that's probably going to eat the pen because they're trying to push Truth. Truth is the guy that they're going to try to push, and maybe
I really hope not. I think they should have stood those two away from each other. There's certain times to do certain things, and this is the time when you don't do those things. In my opinion, just like Karrion Kross right now, even though he took the loss, I like that because he was laughing about it. So now we know we have a good rivalry in Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. What they're going to do with that, who knows? But I'd like to see Karrion Kross get a push. I'd like to see him get into the title picture a little bit, that heavyweight championship, maybe him and Gunther. I'd like to see something like that. I think that would be good. I think Karrion Kross and a Seth Rollins. There you go. One egotistical maniac versus a doomsday prophet, dude. I think that's money right there. I'm telling you, man.
It doesn't. I don't think it works right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it works right now. All right.
Well, hold on. Before that, that's where they made the mistake. CM Punk should have won WrestleMania. Rollins should have stood a face.
Agree.
Took some time off, and then let's just say we're at this point now. You bring in a Karrion Kross to bring out the villain in Sami Zayn, like he's doing with. You bring Karrion Kross to bring out that villain in Seth Rollins. This is what I'm saying. Because Karrion Kross is doing this to Sami Zayn. Look what he's doing. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. I love that stuff. A lot of people don't understand the psychology that's going behind Karrion Kross's stuff.
I know.
It's good stuff. And that's how you pull out the Seth Rollins stuff. That's how they should have did that. And now you give Punk more momentum, and it would have meant more for that John Cena match. It would have.
It would have. It
would have, because that's how, to me, that's how you do the long-term storytelling. Up to this point, you could have built all that up. You know what I'm saying? Why was that first Money in the Bank interaction so big in 2012? Because the buildup was so long. It took weeks. CM Punk went away, taking pictures with the title in the fridge. That's money right there, man. And that's all I'm saying, Peter. That's the way they should be building some of these guys, like an Alistair, like a Carrion, like an Austin Theory. Because at the end of the day, you know who's not going to be here anymore? John Cena, CM Punk. Hell, I'm even going to say Seth Rollins. He may not be here much longer.
I think Seth is going to be there for a little bit, but yeah, I agree with you on that. I think what they're trying to do is finish up with John Cena, and they're trying to get every ounce they can of this storyline, whatever it is, and how they're going to finish it. Most likely going to finish it with Cody.
They better wrap it up soon, man, because it's like I said, it
would be something
working.
if it wasn't Cody, if it was Ron the Truth Killings that wins the title.
I don't want to see Cody do it.
I think that's the grand plan, but then again, you never know, because maybe they do go with Ron Killings because John Cena suggested his friend to do that. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to see Cody do it. I want to see Cody turn heel already. It's got to happen.
It's not.
Maybe. Well, here's the thing. Again, that's another direction. That's another direction you can go.
If it was going to happen, it would happen with The Rock.
Yeah, yes and no, but I think now that you brought back Alistair, I think you can bring that heel out of Cody. Or you pair him up with Carrion. Those are your two main guys that can help create heels. I'm telling you. Because of their personas.
Those could be your heels right there. Those are your heels.
But they don't push them.
I know.
They're too busy getting speared by Braun Breaker. Again, guys like Braun Breaker, that guy right now, you put the champion, the heavyweight title on him, this kid, he can have a serious title run, because when you put him up against, Gunther, I would be okay with him going over Gunther, and I love Gunther.
Wow.
I think you could put. I'm a fan. You know what it is, Peter? It's because they took away his lackeys. Imperium needs to come back.
Yep.
That's what's really missing, because they were a real faction.
Yes.
Not like this Seth Rollins thing. Like, they're trying, but there's no. These guys came up in NXT. That's where Imperium started. They can't, when they start doing factions on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, it doesn't work. You have to, that's why you have to do that stuff. You have to start that stuff at NXT. Like, they're trying the Shield 2.0 type of deal. It's not really working. You're not really seeing much of it.
Right.
It's not working. People are not buying into it. Imperium, people bought into Imperium. People bought into Sanity. You have to organically grow that, and that takes time. This is kind of too forced on us. You know what I'm saying? With the Evolution, it was a buildup. That's why Evolution was successful. The Shield was a buildup in NXT. It was created in NXT. That's why this Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and all this, like, it was stupid. Braun Breaker came out of nowhere and just speared. Oh, I'm with Seth Rollins. Well, what's the backstory behind this? How did you guys come about? I didn't see you guys talking in backstage. I didn't see none of this stuff. You get what I'm saying, Peter? It was forced, and that's why it doesn't work. The NWO, the greatest heel faction of all time, slow and steady build up.
Oh yeah, but they don't do that. All right,
They
haven't done it. All right, so WWE Unreal doc series debuts on Netflix on July 29th. It will reportedly feature some influence from WWE legend and Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. According to John Pollock and Brandon Thurston of Post Wrestling, The Rock and his team did provide notes regarding his appearances in the Omaha Productions, NFL Films, Skydance Sports, and WWE joint venture, which offers a backstage glimpse at the creative process in WWE. The Rock will reportedly be primarily featured in the 4th episode of the show, which will focus on John Cena's heel turn in Elimination Chamber back in March. After Cena won the men's Elimination Chamber match, he attacked Cody Rhodes and turned heel for the first time in more than 20 years. The Rock was on hand for Elimination Chamber in order to get an answer from Rhodes regarding whether he would sell his soul to the final boss. After Cody refused, Cena attacked him at The Rock's behest. In hindsight, this is becoming a controversial segment since The Rock was not involved at all in the build towards Cena versus Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, nor did he appear at WrestleMania itself. Per Pollock and Thurston, the 5th episode of WWE's Unreal is all about WrestleMania 41, and The Rock is not even mentioned in it. The Rock has not appeared on WWE programming since Elimination Chamber, although he has plenty to say about WrestleMania on the Pat McAfee show a couple days after WrestleMania.
It's not that I can't stand him, Peter. You want to talk about narcissistic. That's the guy right there. I'm sorry. I never liked him as a kid. There's just something about him. I was an Austin guy. I liked Stone Cold over him.
I think a lot of people like Stone Cold, but when you first came out as a face, he was Rocky Maivia. He was, Rocky Johnson's kid, and he's all smiling, and they're booing him, and then eventually he just turns into The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of good punchlines, a lot of good insults.
He's
but
great on the mic. Great on the mic. He was great on the mic.
Like, I just don't like when he tries to like.
He's probably one of the greatest wrestlers doing promos ever.
Oh God, yeah. When I listen to him now, and I like, especially with the Hawaii thing, with the fires, and him asking people to donate money, and it's just like, bro, you have money to fix that island, dude. Come on, dude. Like that's asinine. 1, 2. It rubs me the wrong way when John Cena and him were in the ring, and Cena kind of called him out about his promos on his wrist, and he's like, "The Rock is 6'4" or whatever it is, a pure man that will rip your throat out." Shut up, dude. You're on steroids. Like, Nate Diaz was about to slap the head off you. Like, come on, dude. Stop. Like, I just, the whole persona, like, with this, I don't know, just him. I don't, he's too, like, Triple H, I'm not going to say WWE because it's irrelevant now. Triple H, Paul Levesque had a vision, and it started in NXT. And I see a guy like The Rock, maybe I'm wrong, but I just kind of see Dwayne kind of starting to, I don't know. Is it jealousy? Is he trying to like infringe on him? Like,
that's what Vince Russo and the coach think.
That, and not only that, like, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it. It's just a vibe that I get from him. I'm not a fan of his. Like, he's just.
I get it. By the way, Roman Reigns has taken a hiatus because he, according to WrestleVote's Q&A, Joe Lowry mentioned the latest addition to Reigns' family in passing. Congratulations to Roman Reigns. He just had another baby. Good stuff there. He deserves it. Reigns already has 5 kids.
Damn,
so
shooting that club
this
up.
presumably would be his 6th. You did see his significant other. She's but that's that. There's your new bloodline right there. He's got 6 kids.
Yeah, he's coming.
That's new.
Literally.
The family, literally, as we're speaking right now, and on top of it, probably a bad word. In the future years, that's your future.
Oh, I mean, he's coming back, Peter. He's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back eventually. They're saying, it's been a while since Reigns has been seen in WWE. Shortly after WrestleMania 41, there were reports that he could return at Money in the Bank, which took place on June 7th. However, it did not happen. So he's not there. Last year, Reigns returned from his post-WrestleMania 40 hiatus at SummerSlam. He interfered during Solo Sikoa's match against Cody Rhodes, helping the American Nightmare pick up the win.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, he deserves it.
Yeah. SummerSlam.
I don't think he's coming back SummerSlam. I think he'll be back Royal Rumble, probably like the 28th entrant. How's that?
Interesting. Oh, that'd be good. All
I
right.
think that's the way to do that.
On that note, let's finish it off here, man. Give me some final thoughts here on the evolution.
I love butter on my popcorn. I love a lot of butter on the popcorn. I'm just kidding.
There you
Listen,
go.
guys, I appreciate you guys tuning into the Sports Web. It's never a dull moment here. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Sports Web on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, guys, if you're watching on Twitter, I say this all the time, go to the YouTube channel, and because that stuff goes a long way. Yes. Especially with the Frozen Pirate podcast. I know a lot of you guys are watching through Twitter and stuff like that. A couple of new subscribers. I see you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. We just asked you guys to watch the show on YouTube. It's okay, man. We live in a fast technology age, man. Well, not so fast because the couple of days, man, have been pretty bad with the streaming service. But that's all we ask, man. Just go on the YouTube, man. Like and comment over there and subscribe. Same thing if you're on like the X, the Facebook, go on the YouTube, because that right there, once we start generating money for the show, do a lot more things, and you see a lot of things can happen. And that's the main goal. Like I said, I explained this yesterday, Peter. The free jersey giveaway. You know, if the YouTube channel for the Frozen Pirate, listen, I don't need the money. Believe me, I don't. I make a very good living. I make a good amount of money. A lot of that money would go to giving back to the channel with free jersey giveaways. I'd like to do a free jersey giveaway every week, but that's not in my budget right now. But if the YouTube channel's generating some money, I can do stuff like that. You know, also the super chats. I didn't see any super chats today. You guys got to start doing that, man. It goes a long way. Believe me, it goes a long way into doing stuff. That puts you give a $5 super chat. I was gonna say put gas in your car to go do the sports expos, but you drive an electric vehicle. You drive a Tesla. So
that's right. Drive a Tesla. Yeah, exactly.
But for me, it'd go a long way with the Escalade. You know what I'm saying? I get like 5 miles to the gallon. But no, I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. And there is no show tomorrow. It's strictly family time tomorrow. Long vacation weekend. 4th of July. I ask you guys, please be responsible, man. Don't blow your fingers off. Don't do any of that stupid stuff, man. Be responsible when it comes to fireworks. And just try not to get too white girl wasted, because you still got to drive and all that stuff, man. A lot of bad stuff happens on the 4th of July. A lot of 4th of July.
Don't get Ric Flair and tune in.
Don't get Rick
on Saturday, because we'll be live. And
right.
Louie may come with us, and we'll probably have Harry out there because we're right in his neck of the woods, right there at Tent World.
At Tent World, right here. At Tent World, the Sports Web Live from Tent World in Pinellas Park, 6790 US Highway 19 North. Noontime, Peter. Noontime, Tent World. But as always, thank you guys for having me on the Sports Web. As always, I appreciate my time here. And if you haven't, the Frozen Pirate Podcast, Instagram, Frozen Pirate Podcast, Louie Lateo on Facebook, send me a friend request. X is Louie FPP. And then the YouTube channel is the Frozen Pirate Podcast. If you guys haven't watched the latest episode, it's up there. Go give it a like, a subscribe, a comment. Goes a long way. Free jersey giveaway. Peter, I am out. Peace.
See you, buddy. Right there. He's out of there. That's it. So that is it for the night at this point, as we'll come back to the one shot.
That's what she said.
That's right. Such an idiot. All right. Great show tonight, guys. Thanks a lot to Louie from the Frozen Pirate Podcast. No Leo. Don't know what happened. Sometimes that happens. We had Harry the Greek on. He had Gene Thomas on. Plenty of guests, plenty of commentary. We'll put more up there on social media for you guys to interact. We'll be here on Saturday at noon, guys. Definitely check it out. We'll be live. Call in, text in, come down, meet me there in Pinellas Park at Tent World. And we'll be getting Sexy Red, a little bit of window tint there. That Tesla, that Go Bucs red Tesla, some nice little tint. And we'll talk sports with you guys. So definitely come and be a part of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. We'll keep it down for the roommates. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as we always say on this show before we leave, go Bucs.